Hey, are we live? Can you guys hear me? Hopefully I did this correctly. Like, I stream so goddamn infrequently that every time I do it, I'm like, how do I stream again? Oh. Okay, cool. Yes, people can hear me. So, this stream, the Zeon's Existential Crisis, the stream, basically this is about, like, I'm not having an actual existential crisis. At least, not like anything in particular. I mean, I'm kind of always in a constant state of existential crises, but right now, it's not like I'm going through anything particularly horrible. Specifically what this is just me going through, kind of talking about different, like, ideologies of mine, and more specifically, like, kind of clearing up, like, confusions that a lot of people might have about me. So, you know, that is, like, you know, that is what this is all about. And someone just keeps putting, I'm homophobic, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, hide this person, you know, get rid of them. Alright. Getting back to what I was going to say. Yeah. So, basically, like I said, talking about ideologies and where I fall on certain things, because it seems like, yeah, so it seems like a lot of people, especially recently, have kind of gotten triggered by me by using, just by using the phrase toxic masculinity, and it's caused like a lot of like, oh my god, is Zeon an SJW? And I'm just like, and I've kind of just been responding to that with, yeah, sure, yeah, I always have been, sure. And a lot of people, I don't think people quite know what I mean when I say, yeah, I'm an SJW, is, like, I have a lot of those values. I'm very much, I'm very much about, like, representation and people being treated fairly and equally and even. If anything, I prefer to call myself a humanist. I am, because I care about humans, I care about the people, I care about, you know, everyone being treated equal and fair. Like, you know, I've been called, like, you know, like you know, like a gay rights ally and a trans ally, and I'm like, and though those are true, it's really less that, like, I am, you know, fighting the good fight for that, but just, you know, I just want to see fair treatment for everybody. That's where that kind of comes from. I do think, like, you know, I think when people hear the phrase SJW, they think of, like, the militant SJWs. Those people who, like, scream at the top of their lungs on the internet about every little, like, inconvenience in their life. And yeah, you know, like, that's not me. Like, you know, let me think of a good example. Oh, when people were freaking out over, what was it, like, one of the Assassin's Creed games, one of the older ones, not having, like, a female playable character, and, like, you know, the SJWs got into a tizzy over that. I'm like, yeah, no, like, shit like that can go to hell, because, you know, that's not a social injustice. That is a developer choosing to not have a female player option. They're not being sexist, it's just games are developed mostly by middle-aged white guys for middle-aged white guys. I mean, it's kind of like the reality of the situation. And, you know, like, so when people are screaming, like, you know, social injustice over things like that, I just kind of roll my eyes. But when it's actual injustice, you know, people being silenced, people being shut down, people having rights taken away from them, or never being allowed certain rights in the first place, that's where I put my hand up and go, that's bullshit, and I am not okay with this at all. So yeah, like, that's kind of where I lie on a lot of those topics. You know, and, like, So yeah, that's, like I said, that's where I kind of lie on, like, the whole SJW thing. Like I said, like, I feel like I'm really more of a humanist than I am a social justice warrior. But I kind of just lean into the social justice warrior, like, label just to piss off and trigger people who are so anti-SJW. Because one thing I will say, that, like, the anti-SJW people, like, you know, those people are usually very toxic, really shitty. I have, like, no love for these people. I couldn't really care less. So if I get to, like, just trigger those fucks, that just makes my day better. Because, you know, those are usually the people who are trying to silence women and gays and blacks and everything else under the sun that doesn't fall into their realm of comfort, and fuck those people. And, oh, Dokkan Journey. Sorry I'm late with a $10 chat thing. Thank you. Thank you. You're always very generous to me. Thank you. I always appreciate it. Yeah, and let's see. Elijah says, I feel like you can get called an SJW for saying anything remotely liberal. Yeah, that's pretty much true. Like it's pretty ridiculous that, like, yeah, if you try to stand up for anything, like anything that is not like the hardline conservative mindset, like, you know, hey, you know, gays kind of want more rights. You know, they want to be treated a bit more. They've got enough. Fuck them in and in. And it's like, really? That's how we're gonna act. This is how we're gonna do this. So yeah, no, like I have no love for the anti-SJW crowd, because, like, those people are just trying to shut down conversations. Like I said, also, like I said, the militant SJWs, they can go to hell too, because they're just shrieking about every little thing, and they're not helping their positions by being loud and obnoxious and flipping tables and doing whatever the fuck that they do, you know. But yeah, so, like I said, you know, though, I mean, like I said, like, the reason I lean into the SJW thing, like I said, is the trigger not anti-SJWs, and also, you know, because, I mean, technically I am. Like, I am very much for trans rights, I am very much for gay rights, I am very much for, like, minorities being treated fairly. Like, I, you know, like, you know, trying to think, like I mean, like one of the things that's disgusted me the most in recent memory is when we had all those white nationalists, you know, fucking, you know, yelling Sig Heil and the Jews will not replace us. I'm like, that's about as uncomfortable as I've ever been being an American. I will say that right now. And like I said, those people can go straight to hell. And so yeah, that's pretty much my whole stance on that. It's just, like I said, I'm all about rights and people being treated fairly and embraced, and not trying to compartmentalize people into sections, because, like, that's where you start getting problems, is when you take, like, people and you start compartmentalizing them, and it's just like, and you start developing an us versus them mentality, and it's just, it creates division, and it doesn't help anything. Alright, so that's that. Also, another thing I want to talk about is my super edgy humor that tends to confuse people, because I've actually cut back on using like a lot of, like, my edge humor that I used to do, especially on social media, because on social media you run into a lot of people who don't really know me personally and are more likely to get offended because they don't quite get where I'm coming from. In fact, this is one of those things where, like, people start mischaracterizing me and start thinking, like, oh, like, he said, like, a racist thing. Clearly, Zeon's, like, a racist. And I'm like, no, it's a joke. And, you know, or I'll say something sexist, or I'll say something that's homophobic or whatever. And clearly, you know, anyone who's ever known me in real life knows that I'm not these things. In fact, I make these jokes to make fun of people like that. So yeah, like, I've, you know, and I will also, you know, casually toss around slurs quite a bit, in very specific context. I caught quite the flack 2 times on Twitter, both times for using the N-word on the Twitters, and I'm not going to I'm not going to ever like apologize for shit like that, because like it's all about context to me. Like, you know, context to me is what matters, not words. You know, so, you know, and the reason I'm not saying the N-word here in this context, because I would normally say it. Like, I feel like saying it academically, or saying it, to mock actual racists, or to say it, in a way, like, you know, like in a friendly way, like how you would say it to your friends, like, I see nothing wrong with that, and I do that all the time. Like I will, you know, interact with my friends, in that kind of way. But like, you know, when I say it on social media, people seem to get this thing of like, oh, well, you know, that's not your word, you shouldn't be able to say that, blah blah blah, because of slavery. And I'm like, I'm not even white. Like, you can't pull the white guilt card on a guy who's not white. Like, I understand, like, I'm fairly pale for my ethnicity, like, but like I am at most 25% white. I'm like a bit Portuguese, some Native American, like half Asian Indian. Like, that is where, like, you know, that is what I am. Like a very small amount of me is white. But yeah, like, you know, so, like, you know, like, the white guilt thing doesn't really work on me because I'm already a goddamn minority. Like, and I've been treated like a minority. Like, I've never felt like particularly a white guy. I've never really particularly felt like any specific racial denomination. I mean, I guess I was kind of raised to be a white kid. Like, my mother is white enough to pass as white. My stepfather was white. My siblings were white. So, like, you know, I was really the odd one out. Like, my last name is different from the rest of my household that I grew up in. And, but, like, you know, so, you know, like, I've never, like, had, like, you know, that kind of mentality of, like, oh, well, I'm a white person, these are, like, the white person rules that I need to follow. Okay, so someone's making some comments. So I'm going to read some of this real quick, because I think someone... Okay, I don't think white people should say the N-word, not because I find it offensive, but because I find it cringy as hell when white people say it. This is a joke, guys. Oh, okay, someone's making it... Okay, best to just leave the N-word alone. There's no winning with that one, regardless of the explanation. And, see, I don't agree with that, because to me it's all about the context. Racism should never be accepted, but we also should not shut down people, because, you know, like I said, it's all about the context. Context is what should be the thing we care about most. Because once you start stripping away context from things, it's, you know, you're just just making things taboo for the sake of making things taboo. Like it's more of like a feelings over facts kind of mentality, and it's a mentality that I never really get behind. So yeah, like, you know, I feel like, you know, when we're treating like a streamer who like slips an N-word into like their stream, and we compare this kid to like you know, these tiki torch waving white nationalists, like as if they're like the same fucking thing, like I think that's just bad. Like, you know, like that's not helping the situation, because you're just you are you are blowing out of proportion what, like, you know, like the kid doing the stream did, and you're undercutting what the actual racists are. Like, that kind of mentality is going to really hurt the argument against racism. So yeah, let's see. As a black person, I've had white friends say it to me, and I've never personally got mad, but I can understand why some people have an issue with it. Some people still have to hear it today. Yeah, no, that is terrible. Like, you know, like I've said it to like a couple of my black friends who I'm like really comfortable with. I would never really just say it to just any person, because I understand that some people can take offense to it. So, like, I do definitely try to pick and choose when I say it, how I say it, etc., etc. Let's see, the N-word ending in an ER is not okay where I'm from, but ending in an can be used among friends. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too, but, like, I feel like the ER one can still be used academically. Like very specifically, like, if you're talking about, like the fact that we have to just constantly call it the N-word, and it's, like, the only word in our language that, like, we feel the need to do that with. Like, if you've ever noticed, like, nobody says, like, you know, let's talk about the usage of the word faggot. Like, nobody says the F word. No, they just fucking say faggot. Like, they have no problem with it. And, like, and by the way, I'm bi. I can still say faggot as far as I'm concerned. I am gay enough. But yeah, like, it's one of those things that that kind of bugs me, because, like, it's the only like word in our in, like, our language that, you know, we go, no, we can't say it for this thing because it's offensive. And it's just like, but, like, once again, like, you're stripping the context from it. Like, you know, if we like I said, like we don't do that with anything else, and I don't know why this word specifically is just completely compartmentalized off and we just cannot use it. Let's see, the F word, faggot, is just it just feels like something I hear from idiots in middle school. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hear faggot quite a bit. Like, I never really hear faggot in, like, an offensive context, unless it's, like, in my comment section where someone just didn't like something I said and called me a faggot. But yeah, like, I've never really, I mean, I don't really get offended by being called faggot. It's honestly, like, going back to the context thing, you know, like, someone saying something, like, okay, you want to talk about, like, the one time, like, you know, if, like, you want to talk about, like, you know, one time I actually was offended by something like that, and I said this in a recent video, was when my mother, before she ever knew I was out of the closet or anything, referred to me, as a fruit. She's like, what are you, a fruit, a fairy, blah, 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 and because, actually, I think it was just because I was watching MLP. Like, you know, I watched My Little Pony. She saw some pony stuff on my Facebook, which my mother isn't even on my friend Facebook. But someone else, one of my other family members, showed her my Facebook, and she saw some pony shit I was writing about, and she called me about it, and just flipping the fuck out. Like, keep in mind, I am a grown-ass man. I had been out of the house for years at this point, and I am taking this from my mother. And she, like, you know, called me a fruit and a fairy, or asked, like, what are you, like, a fruit, are you a fairy, this is what people are gonna think of you. And, like, that hurt me way more than, like, anybody ever calling me a faggot, because that came from, like a personal, you know, that was someone, like, you know, that I love, like, you know, it's my mother. And to know that she was, like, you know, that insecure about, like, my representation of masculinity made me feel uncomfortable. And, you know, so yeah, like, you know, you don't have to say, you know, like, you know, you don't have to say, you know, like, those offensive words to actually be offensive. You know, you can sit there and, like, use other words to, like, you know, try to, you know, skirt the issue, but, like, you know, it's the intent behind it. You know, like, you know, I living in the American South, like, I might occasionally hear, like, I actually had a friend who, his stepdad was just like, oh, these blacks, blah, 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 and he said something offensive, and I chuckled for 2 seconds before I realized that this guy was serious, and that was, like, and then I got legitimately offended. Like, you know, he didn't say, like, a racial slur. He just said those blacks, and then, you know, like, all these black guys dating white women, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? like, that was, like, the most offensive thing I'd ever heard, like, IRL in my life, like, at that point in time. And like, you know, that I found offensive. But, like, you know, hearing, like, some people just drop an N-bomb harmlessly, and that's the thing, you can drop it harmlessly. You know, like I said, like, when I call my friends that, like, it is, like, you know, I will say very frequently even, like, you know, like, what up, nig? You know, and that is how I greet people very frequently. And, like, that's just how I interact with my friends. I feel like, you know, when you're talking about it, like I said, academically, when you're talking about this stuff academically, you shouldn't have to, like, censor yourself like a child, because, like, that's a child's mentality to be like, oh, well, we just can't say that word. Someone sent me a video one time about, like, you know, this is my, like, you know, basically it was a guy talking about why it isn't okay for white people to say the N-word, and, like, you know, my, like, this someone on Twitter sent me a link to a video about a guy explaining, like, doing, like, a seminar or whatever, explaining, like, why it wasn't okay for white people to say the N-word, but then, like, you know, he's talking about, like, you know, the relationships between people, and then he starts using, like, other examples of words that, like, he's not uncomfortable to, like, that he feels uncomfortable using, but then he just says the words, like, he says faggot. Like, in his thing, I'm like, you just completely just, like uncoupled your own argument by saying, like, it is never okay for white people to say this thing, and just like it's not okay for me to say faggot. It's just like, you just said faggot. Like, you're saying it academically, but you're saying, like, even academically, white people can't say it, and that's ridiculous. So, yeah, I completely just stopped taking that whole discussion seriously at the moment that guy started doing that, and, you know, and even, like, the person, like, who sent me the thing, I pointed that out, and they were just like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I still, like, stand by his stance, and I'm like, whatever. But yeah, like I said, you know, I feel like there are just, what about the C-bomb? I keep seeing people say the C word. Like, what is it? Is it cunt? Is cunt the C word? Because, like, I've never known, like, cunt, I mean, okay, like, cunt is, like the last, like, really offensive, like, you know, word in the English language that we still have, but at least in America. Yeah, okay, it is cunt. Alright, yeah, okay, yeah, alright, yeah, I feel the same way about that. Like people who don't say cunt, because that's a weird thing about the word cunt, is because cunt isn't, like aimed at, like, a specific group, even. I mean, you call it, like, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, you call women cunts, I guess, you know, so I mean, I guess you could say it's disparaging against women, but I mean, so's calling them bitches, or fucking hussies, or sluts, or thoughts, or, and I mean, a lot of that stuff I'm not even okay with, like I would, yeah, there we go, cunt doesn't discriminate, you know, like that's actually a really good point, like, that is the difference, because, like, I am way more okay with calling, like I would call, like I would call a woman a cunt way before I'd ever call them a slut or a thought, because I honestly hate, because I honestly, really, like, hate the idea, because, you know, because calling someone like a slut or a thought, like, you know, that's degrading someone for, and, like, you know, making, like, a value judgment on them, and that's just not fair and not okay. But, like, you know, just calling someone a cunt, it's just like, man, you got a fucking attitude problem. That's what calling someone a cunt means to me. Yeah, like, cunt doesn't target, you know. So yeah, that is, like, yeah, that's kind of how, like, I feel, like, on the whole language thing. Like I said at the beginning, like, much earlier in this, I'm cutting back on a lot of the edgier humor that I would make, because it's causing a lot of confusion with people. Let's see, wait. I have more problem with butch than fag, to be honest, but that's my personal experiences. Yeah, fair enough. You know, I mean, like, I feel like, you know, whatever you've had to deal with personally, like, you know, what words you've been called and whatever you have to deal with personally, like, you know, those are the ones that are gonna trigger you more easily. No more edgelordisms. That's not true. Like, I'm still gonna have, like, I still have edgy-esque humor. It's just, there are certain things that I feel like confuse people about my worldviews and like, you know, because like I say certain things and then people seem to, like, if they don't realize I'm being sarcastic, then they seem to think that, like, oh, like this, he's like this then. Like, very recently I had someone on that Vegeta, like the second video I did about Vegeta and toxic masculinity and all of that, I had someone say, like, you know, like, oh, like, I thought you were anti-SJW, like, I'm fucking unsubscribing, and I was just like, whatever, bro. But you know, like the mere fact that someone got that mentality from me, that, like, I was, you know, basically just people who see me from afar, or just kind of, you know, make passing glances at me on, like, social media, tend to, you know, they can easily get the idea that I'm extremely aggressive, that I'm very inflammatory, that I'm potentially racist, that I'm potentially sexist, that I'm potentially homophobic, that I'm potentially transphobic, and these things are just not accurate. I just find edgy humor funny, like, very much. Like, if you want to know where a lot of my sense of humor comes from, I'll tell you exactly. Like the formation of my humor comes very much from The Chappelle Show and Eminem. Like, I was raised on the edgiest of edgelord fucking humor. Let's see. Let me read a couple of these comments. Who actually loses respect for a person because they differ in opinion? Did they subscribe to you for your anti-SJW? Yeah, no, I have no fucking clue. I have no, I have no fucking clue why this person thought that would be my views. I don't know, maybe because I didn't like Khalifa. Like, I didn't like Khalifa, so, like, I'm against the SJW agenda, and I'm like, you know, because I'm against, you know, inserting strong female characters, which is weird, because I did an entire video about how I feel Dragon Ball doesn't have enough good, strong female representation. So, like, and it's really funny for people to just now be kind of catching on to the whole, like, SJW thing, when really, like, you know, we don't have enough strong females in Dragon Ball, like, legitimately strong written characters, like, female characters. So, yeah, Eminem is yikes nowadays. I mean, are you talking about Eminem's new music or Eminem's old music through a modern lens? Because either one of those could be Kale and Khalifa with cancer. Yeah, I don't like either one still. I like Kefla because I found her to be a little bit more engaging. She is very much like Khalifa, but I feel like, you know, but, like, yeah, I feel like she kind of earns her place a little bit more than the two separated ever did. His music now. Yeah, yeah, I liked, what was it? Was it Recovery, I think? Yeah, Recovery. Like, that I thought was a pretty okay album. But yeah, he has definitely not been the same since the Eminem show. Sad face. You made a video about why Frozen is gay allegory and why it's great. Yeah, no, right? Like, I did it like, I still, at some point, really want to recover Frozen, because Frozen is such, like, a deeply personal, like, you know, emotional film for me that I really want to cover that one again in the future, because I do love that movie, and I really want to make a much better video on it. Did Kamehakan change your opinion on the DB community? You know, for a while it did, because I came across so many pleasant people while at Kamehakan, but after being away from it for a while and just being re-exposed to the fandom at large again, I remembered, yeah, no, there's still a lot of shit out here, and people are really toxic and shitty, and I kind of fucking hate them. And oh yeah, right, and Kamehakan 2 tickets are coming out soon for order. I should have a press pass, so I'm not even going to worry about it. You know, like unless something happens between now and then, and they just yank my panel out from under me, and just, like, I have to buy a ticket, like, I should have no problem obtaining a press pass. But yeah, so Oh, did you manage to sleep well today? Yes, for those that don't know, over the course of 2 days, I had like 8 hours of sleep, and then I just couldn't fall asleep the next day. It was horrible. I did sleep, though. I got like a good 8 hours worth. I actually feel pretty goddamn alright today, which is why I'm doing the stream. If I felt like dog shit, I would not be here doing this stream. So, yeah. So yeah, I think that kind of covers, like I said, like I said, I'm not going to completely abandon, I'm not going to completely abandon my, like, edgier humor. Like, I'm going to probably save it more for scripted videos, if anything, because then people can at least make the distinction between this is scripted and this is a vlog, or this is a, or this is like a tweet. Because when it's a social media thing and I'm doing something kind of sarcastically, people who don't know me personally can get really easily confused by that. And when I'm doing vlogs, people who don't know me personally can be really easily confused by things I say in vlogs. I'm still probably gonna make the occasional offhand edge comment in those vlogs, but yeah. Will the stream be uploaded as an archive? Yes. Yes, unless I fucked up something in the settings or I unclicked a box, I should definitely, I should definitely have an archive of this that goes up when it's done, probably tomorrow. You have a day job, right? Sorry I don't have Twitter if you talk about that there. Yeah, no, I have a day job. I have a full day job, 2 to 11s all the fucking time. Except for now, because I'm off, because this is one of my days off. Yeah, edgy humor is just a part of who you are. Don't be ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of my edgy humor at all. It's just, you know, I don't want people getting the wrong ideas about me, which is something that keeps happening, and I really have no one but myself to blame because I'm projecting that kind of attitude. So yeah, like when people think that I'm just you know, like when people, you know, like, I've already said this enough times now. Like, I don't want people getting like the wrong idea about me. If there's any specific things that people want me to talk about, like very specific topics, maybe things they've ever been confused about me, you're welcome to ask in the comments. You know, I won't demand that you make them super chats or anything because I'm not a fucking shill. So you can just ask whatever, and I'll read whatever ones. You know, I'll read whatever, you know, I see. Okay, who gives a shit what strangers think of you? It's not that I give a shit about what strangers think of me. It's when, like, when the public perception of me as a whole starts getting, you know, like, you know, starts kind of shifting in a direction. Like, if it's just 1 or 2 people who are pissy because I shit on their favorite anime, oh, wah, suck a dick, I don't care. When people, like, when like the common consensus of me starts becoming like I'm confrontational, like I got this shit from my friends because I actually got really kind of I actually got, like, really kind of pissed off at geekdom recently, and he and I still have yet to talk and actually fully hammer that bullshit out, but, like, we talked about doing it, and then we just never got around to it. But I had said something to him, and he and I kind of got into, like a bit of a tiff, and it, like, basically he was just like, you know, like, basically him calling me hypocritical because I'm, like, the most confrontational person out there. And I'm like, I'm not really confrontational. Like, I will just tell people to get fucked. Like, if someone comes at me with some bullshit and I don't want to hear it, or it's just, like, they're insulting me, or they're just fucking arguing my opinions with me, I'm just gonna tell them, get fucked. And I move on with my life. I really don't argue with people. Like, there's a reason, like, when, like, you know, when people were like, why don't you argue with Seth the programmer? You know, I don't want to argue with Seth the programmer, because Seth the programmer doesn't really, Like, you know, like, why would I want to do that? Like, that doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. It just makes my day worse. You feel like you're losing yourself? Do you feel like you're losing yourself in your internet persona? I don't know, like, because my internet persona, it's, because, like, my internet persona kind of is, it is a lot of me in there, but it's, like, hyperbolized me, like, exaggerated me. It is, and then there's this, like, me mixed with, like, you know, like, shitty fanboy, like, the type of shit that I kind of hate. In fandom, and that's kind of where my persona kind of lies. Like in my, I think the best example of this is, like, when I start doing those scripted videos, and I had, like, the Beers arc review. In that video, I am presenting myself as this guy who is speaking objectively, air quotes, about, like, the quality of this children's cartoon, and I'm, like, in a blazer, and I have, like, a fucking whiteboard behind me, and I'm speaking very authoritatively, but I don't actually care if other people like Dragon Ball Super or like that arc. The entire point of that video, like, all the opinions in there are my genuine opinions, but, like, the framing of it as this is something genuinely important that you need to listen to is the complete opposite of what I feel, which is hammered in by the end of the video, where Aggro has just been tuning me out playing fucking Pokemon. Like, that is what that joke is there to represent, is that, like, everything you just heard is completely inconsequential, and anything I said wasn't actually worth hearing at the end of the day. Like, it's not actually important. It's literally just some dude's opinion, and yeah. So I literally undercut the importance of my own grandstanding at the end of my video with that joke. And the next video I have coming up for that channel, if I ever get that fucking thing made, is going to have a very similar joke that kind of undercuts the importance of what I'm saying. And that's kind of going to be a running theme with those videos, is me undercutting my own importance and, like, how I present myself. Are you and Cyriax cool? I mean, I've never really spoken to Cyriax. Like, we've interacted a little bit on Twitter. He follows me. I kind of feel like I should follow him, because, like, I've seen him been posting a couple things and he's pretty entertaining. I've watched a little bit of his channel and I'm like, oh, that guy's all right. That's pretty cool. But it was never like enough of my thing to ever subscribe to him. So yeah, well, hold up. So yeah, like, I mean, you know, he had, like, an issue with my Toxic Vegeta video, and I know he had an issue with my stance on the N-word, but we've never, like, you know, like, I mean, he still follows me, he still comments on things, I comment back to him. And yeah, I mean, we've never had any, like, legitimate beef. We seem to understand each other, and we're not toxic towards one another. So yeah. Video. Right, sorry. Now I'm just like oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Another thing is, like, yeah, me being a narcissist is another thing I really want to dispel, because, man, I do not, like, hold my own opinions to, like, some high fucking bar. Like, I don't. I just think, like, I like this fucking cartoon, and that's about it. Or I dislike this cartoon, and that's about it. And, like, you know, people can find value in it, because the whole point of the videos that I make is, like, I have an unusual perspective on something, and I want to express it, and, like, I have, like, an unusual perspective on something, and I want to just kind of get that out there. Mace gave $2 and wrote, I looked at her and said, Despacitos, 3. You know, I don't know the Despacitos meme. I think that's, like, a Hispanic song, and I know I've been seeing a lot of things like Despacito written as the font of different things like Dragon Ball or Super Smash Brothers or whatever. I actually just do not know that meme. Like, I'm old. Like, I don't fucking keep up with memes anymore. I thought the existential was you being a virgin. But no, but seriously, do you or what caused your spaghetti? I don't think I understand what this one was saying. I think the person was trying to make a joke. And then, okay, I'm assuming, I think we're talking about, like, his existential crises here. Is, like, he wants to know what causes my existentialism. And, well, I think it's the same thing that causes anyone's existentialism. It is, you kind of take a step back and you look at, like, your existence and your place in the world and what you have contributed and what you have yet to contribute or don't contribute, and you just, or what you've accomplished, and think about its value. And the crisis kind of comes when you feel that there isn't a value. Like especially, here we go. If you really want to separate the man from the persona that you see in videos, is I usually come off as very kind of, hold up. I gotta dip out in the middle of Dusk Maiden. See you next stream. Dude, Dusk Maiden of Amnesia's fucking dope. Good. Rock on. You do that. That is a great fucking anime. I really plan on doing a video on that at some point, because I love that anime so goddamn much. Shit, what the fuck was I talking about? Existentialism and the difference between the Zeon that you see behind like you see in the vlogs and in the scripted videos, and the actual human being is, I come off way more confident in videos than I am in real. And honestly, like, I mean, I exude that personality when out and about, but I mean, as an actual person, I am incredibly insecure. I always am, like, judging my own work. I'll be honest, for everyone who's just like, oh man, I love your videos, I hate my videos. I barely, like, even scripted stuff, I sour on very quickly. Like my Big Beers arc review that I spent forever goddamn working on. Yeah, I'm not really, like, super proud of that one. I just, I see the flaws in it, and, like, I'm never really content with any of the work I do. And that is, like, that's just kind of, where a lot of my existential crisis comes from, like, if you really, like, I don't know. I am just a flawed, broken fucking human being. I will say that right now. Like, honestly, I don't even think you can be a creative and not be, like, just broken and sad in some fucking way or another. What do the My Hero fans say that's toxic? I haven't personally seen. I don't know. Not so much that they're toxic, just really annoying and pushy. Like, have you seen My Hero Academia? You should watch My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is like the best shonen anime. Like, why are you watching these other anime instead of My Hero Academia? I just fucking get tired of it. Oh God, like, it's the same thing with JoJo's fans. It's the same thing with any fans of any shonen that gets fucking popular. Is that you just have to hear them constantly say, like, you need to, like, watch this show, drop what the hell you're doing and watch this shonen anime. It's like, oh, fuck off. You ever hear of Lily Peach? She makes really good videos, kind of in a similar vein of yours, as well as the likes of Movie Bob and Jim Sterling. She likes to talk about cartoons, primarily MLP. If Lily Pete is who I'm thinking about, I'm assuming because I think that's a trans woman. Either she's a trans woman or she is a woman with a fairly deep voice. But yes, if that's who I'm thinking about, I have seen some of her videos, very specifically like some of her videos on Quora and a couple other videos. I don't like her videos at all because she comes off very authoritative and condescending, and it's not like, here, let me like express my feelings on a piece of entertainment. It's, here, let me tell you why this thing is garbage and why you're fucking wrong for thinking it's not garbage. And I hate that fucking mentality. So yeah, I can't fucking watch her stuff at all. Movie Bob and Jim Sterling, I do watch. Like, I like Movie Bob when he is not shoving his politics into videos that don't really need his politics. And Jim Sterling, I like when he actually has something fresh and new to say, and he's not just kind of beating the same 5 dead horses over and over again. It's like, yes, I get it. Steam is garbage. Yes, I get it. Like, you know, microtransactions are garbage, and I get why he does it. It's to, you know, to really, to really, you know, hammer in like this is not okay, and to make sure we never think it's okay. But yeah. But yeah. Talking about just Prototype X just threw in 1999. Just didn't even say anything. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wish you had I wish you had written something. I would have fucking like given you a shout out or something. It took someone working at Bones telling me personally that I should. Oh wait, this is something. I was trying to read something that Rosa wrote, but it feels like I'm only reading half of a sentence. Never mind. Yeah, I remember watching that big Cora video, expecting a great takedown, and getting completely turned off by her attitude. Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, it's not even like she dislikes Cora. I just find her attitude just insufferable. So yeah, that's how I feel about that person. Trying to think of other things to talk about that are kind of in the vein of clarifying certain things about myself, or just kind of spouting off weird ideologies and stuff. I mean, I think a lot of people know a lot of other things about me. Like politically, I'm kind of a left-leaning centrist. You know, there's that. I mean, that's really no secret. I mean, I've mentioned it in videos. I've really hate Donald Trump. I kind of really hate this administration. I find it very upsetting, and I just want it to be over. It's not even and this isn't even like, oh, I hate Republicans. No, what was it, like 2 fucking elections ago? Like, I wanted, Ron Paul. I mean, he didn't even fucking get to it. Like, the only reason I fucking voted for Obama that goddamn election was it was him or Mitt Romney, and there was no fucking way I was gonna fucking vote for Mitt Romney. Let's see. It's hard not to hate Trump. Yeah, I know. He really, like, I feel like even, like, I have a friend who is a Christian conservative Republican, and even he will just try to circle around, like defending his party line, but not really ever defending Trump. And it's always kind of funny to watch him really toe that line. Man, I can't wait for next election. I really hope the DNC just doesn't fuck it up and pick someone garbage again. Because for the record, I don't like Hillary either. Like, I don't like Hillary, but, isn't Ron Paul a libertarian? I think he has some libertarian views, but, yeah, like, yeah, like, it's just, like, a lot of his views I kind of liked, and, I mean, he was up for the vote for the Republican Party, and, yeah, that's... He just undid something that stopped oil spills from the Obama administration. Oh, that's good. Yeah, like, it's always kind of weird, like, and I'm gonna have to, like, look that up also, because, every time, almost every time, I see someone say, like, oh, well, Trump did this thing that fixed this problem from the previous administration. When I go and look it up, it's never quite what people are saying. It's always it's always skewed a bit. Like, you know, it's like it's never quite, you know, like Trump did something actually good and altruistic for a change, and there was usually some fucking negative ramification of it, or there was, or just he didn't actually do anything himself and he was just kind of taking credit for it, which is kind of what I run into a lot with him. Can we just all go to Canada and smoke pot together? I mean, you guys can smoke pot. I'll sit there and watch. It's not really my bag. I have loads of respect for you for making a stream like this and archiving it. Yeah, no, like, I am not, like, ashamed to talk about, like, my ideologies and to really take a stance in the things that I believe in. Like, I really want, like, you know, because I realize one of the things is, like, I think this is probably that any artist wants, and not to sound pretentious by calling myself an artist, but is to be understood. And if you don't clarify, you won't be understood. So yeah, that's kind of my stance on that. My boss is from Puerto Rico and voted for Trump because I don't want no woman in the white. Jesus Christ. $15 from Reezy. Thank you very much. Oh man. That's rough. Trump could cure cancer and he's still an asshole. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, if he found a cure for cancer, I mean, he would just be that asshole who found the cure for cancer. Woo! Zeon, you never liked pot? Ever tried it? I mean, I've tried pot forever ago. It just dries my throat out. Maybe also because I've never had pot while not also drinking. So maybe that's why, because like I've never just felt the effects of pot. I was always already drunk when someone was just like, hey dude, want a hit? And I'm like, yeah, sure dude, whatever. Yeah, woo. And, you know, then I just ended up joining like the little fucking pot circle. You know. So yeah, that's kind of, that is my experiences with weed. Like the last time I smoked weed was, I was at a friend's wedding, like the after party of a friend's wedding, fucking drunk and depressed, and I was just like, yeah, no, dude, just give me the pipe. I don't even give a shit right now. Yeah, it's just, oof. Getting drunk is Zeon's thing. It made Green Lantern good. I don't really get drunk. I don't drink very frequently at all. Like, I get, like, shit-faced plastered twice a year. Like this year I got shit-faced on New Year's, and, like, which is just tradition. That is one of my times I'm always gonna get shit-faced. And the other time I've been shit-faced was my friend's wedding the day before KamehaCon. For anyone who is aware, I missed the first day of KamehaCon because I was at a Star Wars themed wedding. And, like, so I was super trash at that wedding. I was also, like, fucking depressed, too. I don't know what the hell. Like, okay, let me say, I don't get depressed at weddings. Depressing things happened to me leading into these weddings. So, because I was depressed, I ended up drinking. And then I had to deal with a hungover fucking plane ride. That was terrible. Do you prefer soda or alcohol? Soda or alcohol? I don't know. What do you know about Quaman and him breaking a door at KamehaCon? Wait, Quaman and who? Raising as another student. I don't know who Quaman and him are. I don't know who the him is specifically. I saw Zeon's GT lecture at KamehaCon. It was fun. Thank you. But yeah, I did not hear about Quinn breaking a door. I saw him at KamehaCon a couple of times. I didn't get to hang out with him much. Like, he showed up at one of the after parties, and I saw him and Jaxblade, and we were talking for a bit, and we were having a good time, and then he had to split, and he was like, oh yeah, we'll be right back. And then, like, he didn't come back for, like, well over, like, an hour, and then their drunk asses just went to fucking bed immediately. Like, I saw him come in the door and get in the elevator and leave. So, yeah. I didn't hear anything about Quinn breaking a door. I heard about some other fucking shit Quinn did that I'm not going to talk about because Quinn is my buddy, and I'm not going to fucking embarrass him on the goddamn internet. How was the wedding? The weddings are great. The fucking Star Wars wedding is like the coolest wedding I've ever been to. I talked the bride into coming out to the Empire's March because she was dressed as Princess Leia and her dad walked her out as Darth Vader. And I have the best ideas ever. Hey Zeon, thoughts on abortion? It was legalized in Ireland a short while ago. Okay, here we go. See, this is what I want. Like get me to talk about ideological stuff. I am all for abortion. I think it is the woman's choice. It is their body. You do not get to police someone else's body in what they do. Like, it is, you know, like you don't, like, to tell a woman, like, oh, well, you are now obligated to carry this child for the next 9 months, putting your life on hold, giving birth to this child, going through the medical expenses, and all of the bullshit from it. Like, to tell them that is, like, it is... That's bullshit. Like, no. Like, you do not get to fucking just tell someone that they don't get to live their life for 9 goddamn months because you think that fetus is gonna, like, have value at some point. Because I don't even inherently consider all human life to have value. Like, there are people who are fucking shitbags. And honestly, like, so many people want to bring children into this world, but once they're actually born, well, tough luck, kid. Gotta go fucking defend yourself. You know, like, it's terrible. Like, you know, we fucking, like, you know, throw these women into, like, this little fucking corner of shame. Like, we already make it so fucking difficult for women to get abortions as is in certain areas, especially really religious areas. It is very difficult for women to get abortions. And, you know, because we... You know, because like, oh, well, it's killing a life. Well, congratulations. Now you just brought a child into the world with a parent who is unfit to fucking raise one, and now this kid's life is going to be fucking miserable. But do people give a shit about that? Fucking no. Not at all. Because they just care that the child is born. They don't care if the child has food to eat or clothes to wear or fucking proper education. Like, it's fucking disgusting, you know? It's just like everyone wants to like every fucking kid to be born, but you know, once that fucking, like, once it's no longer a fetus and it's actually a goddamn human, fuck it, you know, it's on its own now. It's someone else's problem. Oh, ideology. How do you feel about Black Lives Matter? I have had 2 opinions on it. Like, before I used to be kind of well, I think all lives matter. Why are we kind of compartmentalizing this? Even though I just said that I don't think human life inherently has value, but that's, like, that's for shitty people. Shitty people don't fucking have value. But I do understand that the fact that, like, this is an issue. Like, I mean, if black people are gonna keep being racially marginalized and, you know, beaten by the police for no fucking reason, I think the thing that really tipped the scale for me in that argument was because, you know, one of my stances on this has always been, it's just like, well, a lot of these people, like, when we point to police brutality, it's like, well, like, these were criminals in the first place. But then, the one that really just broke me, where I'm like, this is completely indefensible, was, I don't know the guy's name, but it was, guy gets pulled over, I think for having an out tail light. And it's like, it's this black guy and his fiance and their kid in the back seat. And the guy says, hey, just so you know, I do have a gun in my car. Like, you know, just exchanging that information like you're supposed to do, so that way the cop doesn't have, like, you know, cause for concern. And the cop freaks out, tells him not to grab his gun. And and the guy is just trying to grab his wallet. He's trying to get his wallet to give to the officer to give him his ID. And the guy's like, don't go for your gun. I'm not grabbing for my gun. It's just like, don't grab your gun. I'm not grabbing my gun. I said, don't grab your gun. And then shoots this man 3 times in the fucking chest, kills him dead in front of his fiance and his child. That is disgusting. And literally, like, the best defense this guy had when he went to court was he thought he smelled weed, in the car. And if this guy was willing to smoke weed with his child in a car, what was he willing to do to that poor officer? Get fucked, dude. Go straight to hell with that. Like, god damn. So yeah, like the fact that you have like an officer who got spooked by the scary black man and then shot him to death for no fucking reason in front of his family, go to hell. So yeah, no, like when it comes to the Black Lives Matter thing, I have I have really kind of changed my tune on that. So yeah, like, when we do have an issue, and I do think, unfortunately, black people do have it worse than others do. It sucks. It really does. Let's see. You made a follow-up comment. All lives matter people don't even have an issue with police typically. Huh. See, that's the thing, though, because like I thought the whole all lives matter thing was just an all lives matter. I knew it was a police brutality thing was what started it. So, Black Lives Matter are actually against all police brutality, not just against black people. It's the name. It's just the name is controversial. Yeah, I think it kind of does confuse people. Because, like I said, for the longest time, I was really confused about that. And, like, because when you hear a title like that, you just kind of go, well, what about all the other lives? What about the Asian lives? What about the Mexican lives? What about the white lives? And, I mean, you do have some people who will say, man, fuck whitey. And that isn't good either. Yeah, so, yeah, all lives matter is basically just an elaborate way of saying shut up, really. See, I wonder if that's actually the case, because I've seen people, like, because like I said, like, I mean, I myself did side with the whole all lives matter. Even before there was actually a movement, before I even knew it was a movement, I would be like, well, I mean, really, all lives matter. And, that whole thing, when I said all lives matter, I mean, like, I meant that. Like, I didn't think that, that we should be, like, compartmentalizing, like, oh, well, like, these are the lives that are more important. But, like, I do understand now that that was an issue, that there was a reason that we were focusing on that. I will say, however, when these people start lighting fires and tipping over cars and breaking windows to fucking stores to steal shit, you are completely undercutting your message and just making yourself look like a fucking dumbass and just kind of proving the opposition right. Like, that's not freedom of speech. That's not protesting. You're a fucking criminal. I will draw the line on that shit for goddamn sure. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, though, the Black Lives Matter, like, I kind of was, like, I didn't really, like, have, like a strong stance on it before, but when I started paying more attention to it, I definitely kind of fell on the, Black Lives Matter. Like, I'd hold that sign up. This Black Lives Matter convo has gone better than I expected in this chat. I like you guys. Yeah, no, I think I like to, for the most part, the people who actually would click on this. I've curated some pretty good people, So yeah, for the most part, a lot of people who follow me are fairly respectful and decent human beings. And yeah, it's all good. I like how some people treat gays as non-human. Yeah, no, that fucking pisses me off too. It's fucking terrible, obviously. So yeah, if you guys have other things to talk about, any other philosophical things you want me to talk about, I am all down for it. Where's my other cup of water? I actually, before I started this, grabbed 2 cups of water, and it was like 20 minutes before the stream started, and I drank the majority of my first cup of water waiting for the stream to start. That's why I actually, like, when the time rolled around, I was just like, stream starting it a little bit. And I had to like go back and refill my first cup of water because I already drank the whole damn thing. When did you know you were an atheist? Okay, so this is actually a good one. Who? And do you believe in God? Well, I think the other question just answered that one for you. This is one that I don't think I've ever really spoken about my atheism too much, other than the fact that I am an atheist. Let's see. I was about 16 years old when I kind of came to the realization that I was an atheist. And when I say, like, I was an atheist, I mean, that's when I kind of came to the realization that I didn't believe in God. I didn't know the word atheist growing up. The word atheist was completely foreign to me. In fact, it wasn't until what caused that to happen was me just thinking about other religions, other deities, how people worship things that aren't Christianity, and I was always like a couch Christian, as what I refer to it as. Like, I was raised Christian in the sense that I was told that God is real, the Bible is the truth, Jesus was a guy and he was nailed to a cross to repent for our sins. Like, and that was my reality. And one day I just started thinking about other religions, and I just, like, a fucking just lightning bolt hits me, and I'm like, wait a second. How do I know those aren't the right ones? Like, I mean, there's got to be a reason these people believe that. I mean, why do I think I'm following, or I believe in the right religion? And then I realize, what makes me think any religion is true? Oh, man, and I had this great fucking epiphany. Like, literally, like, I was sitting in class when that happened. And I get home from school, and I'm talking to my mother, and I tell her this, and she loses her shit. Even though my mother is a fucking couch Christian, she doesn't actually go to fucking church. She had me baptized as a child. Against my will, by the way. I did not want to do that. Mostly because I didn't understand what baptism was, and it scared the shit out of me. And it just sounded scary. Baptism. But I did not want to, I did not want to get baptized. But anyhow, my mother flips the fuck out, telling me this is a God-fearing house, we believe in Christ here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can't make me believe that. And I started kind of getting more into the philosophical elements of it. And as far as, like, my feelings on religion as a whole, I don't know. Like I don't have a problem with religious people. In fact, the majority of the women I've dated have been goddamn religious. So there's that. And I've actually gone to church with all of them, because I am very much, like, I can understand it as an important part of their life, so I want to at least be supportive and experience these things that are important to them. But yeah, no, like, it really just depends on what religion we're talking about, and how you view religion. Because here's one of my things. Like, Methodists are probably the most chill Christians you have, but honestly, I kind of respect them the least because they're so wishy-washy and flimsy with the rules. But then you have, like, an ex-girlfriend of mine who was a Jehovah's Witness, and, you know, their rulings were very strict, very stringent. And I... like, it almost feels like just like a lot of religious guilt going on there, and I just kind of feel like they're kind of they're not terrible people, but they kind of do terrible things in the name of religion. So it's weird. It's like I either like you, like I either, like I said, like Methodists, you know, like the more wishy-washy you are with the rules of your religion, the more cool I am with you, but the less I respect you for not really adhering to the rules of your religion. But the more stringent you are with your rules, the more I respect that, but the less I like you as an individual, because you kind of are in a cult. Doing terrible things makes you a terrible person. The thing is, though, is that terrible is subjective. You can't... Yeah. Because if you're doing something in the name of your religion tells you that it is moral and just, then that is your perception. Like, I think the Westboro Baptist Church are fucking shitty people. But, you know, they have their good book that tells them. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, very specifically, like the Jehovah's Witness I dated. She was not currently a Jehovah's Witness while we were dating. She had been disfellowshipped. And I didn't like, you know, like the very shunning nature of that whole thing. And I thought that was kind of terrible and shitty. But it's written in their book, so it's just like, do I call them shitty people? Or, and honestly, in my mind, it is shitty. It is shitty to shun anybody for things that they just, yeah, no. I did not agree with their worldviews. Like, I'm disappointed that she ended up going back to them. And, yeah. She tried to rope me into it. Got kind of close, too. In fact, going back onto my story of being an atheist, I was, because of how I just kind of stumbled into atheism, I've never, because of how I kind of stumbled into atheism, I was never that solid in my, like, belief in it. Like, I started listening, when I started hanging out with Aggro years, like 12 fucking years ago, I also became friends with his brother. His brother had recently gotten into the skeptical community, had left being a hardcore Christian to being a full tilt atheist, and he and I would just talk philosophy ad nauseum. It was, you know, really cool. Like if you think Aggro's cool, his brother's really cool too. And trying to think. So yeah, like I went that route. And I was like, I started learning more and more about the atheistic mind view and stuff. And then I dated a Christian a few years ago. I think it was 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago. And I was kind of casually going to church with her, but I was also in the middle of like a depressive spell. So like I was kind of getting a little suckered in by it. And I started opening my mind up to the idea of Christianity. And then when my last girlfriend, like she was trying to go back to being a witness again, which is what ended our relationship, she wanted me to join her. And I was feeling very flimsy and wishy-washy and horribly fucking depressed. And I ended up going to the Kingdom Hall. I started taking Bible studies, and my ex at that time was super ecstatic because, like, in her mind, I guess it was like she's gonna be a witness, and then I'm gonna be a witness, and then we can get back together, and then we can be a nice witness couple again. And it didn't work. Because the further I went down the biblical hole, the more I questioned, the more they got annoyed that I kept asking questions, the more questions they couldn't answer. And I just kept kind of philosophically backing my study group, into my Bible study instructor, kind of philosophically into a corner. And all it did, like, it just ended up ending with me having to, like, tell my ex at the time. I was just like, yeah, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm gonna drop my Bible studies. And she got really upset, and I'm like, look, like the further I get into this, the more convinced it's not real. Like, all learning about the Bible has done has reinforced my atheism. It had the complete opposite, yeah, like it was the complete opposite effect as what a Bible study was supposed to do. And yeah, that was fun times. Oh yeah, that's the thing about faith. You're just expected to go with it. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like things like that only work if you want them to work. If you want to go in believing this stuff, and yeah, then you're gonna end up fucking believing it. If you start questioning everything, and you're kind of like on the outside looking in, going, well, is this the right thing? And you start asking the questions, yeah. You're gonna kind of hit that philosophical wall and just be like, nah, I think this is bullshit. You know, it was funny too because I didn't even get to end my what the fuck is it called? My Bible studies with them. They stopped getting back to me. They stopped scheduling me with me, and I'm like, oh, I think I offended them. Oops. So yeah, in Catholicism, you can't question shit. It's scary when you're familiar with, will fight you just because of that. Oh, all right. When and how did you come to the realization that you were bi? Okay. Did you always accept you were bi? Okay, this is a good one. This is actually one I was thinking about. Whenever someone brought up atheism, I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, so it took me a very long time to realize my sexuality. It took a very, very long time for me to really, like... Okay, so I grew up primarily in the 90s, and... You know, this is once again like that whole toxic masculinity thing I brought up in the Vegeta video about how toxic masculinity kind of affected a lot of things about me and my development growing up. And one of the things that it did was kind of make me view kind of being gay as not okay. Like I was okay with gay people. I was not okay with being gay. And and that's kind of like, I'm straight because that's what I am, because I'm a man. And God, it was terrible. And you know, like I've never been like that masculine of a person. I like a lot of effeminate things. And like that, like it took me a really long time to like understand stuff like that about myself. Once again, because of, you know, the time period I grew up with. In fact, my friend who had that big Star Wars wedding, I was talking to her 14-year-old daughter, who, you know, like I'm friends with their whole family. I'm talking to her daughter like after the ceremony, and she was talking about how, like, you know, she's asexual, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool that like at your age you're able to figure that out about yourself, because like my generation didn't have like this kind of, you know, environment to really, you know, figure themselves out. Like it was, you're a guy, you're straight, you're gonna date women, you're gonna marry a woman, you're gonna fucking have kids, you're a woman, you're gonna date a guy, you're gonna marry him, you're gonna pop out some kids. That's what you do because that's what society tells you to do. And so for the longest time, like, and like I started kind of creeping up on the idea of not being straight when I was about 20, when I was just like, oh yeah, like Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance is really cute. So's Johnny Depp. And I'm like, but that doesn't make me gay. I just, you know, I can acknowledge that a man is attractive. And like, oh my god, I was so deep in the fucking closet I couldn't even fucking see it for myself. And like, I really should have noticed these things about me sooner, because literally, like, one of my favorite movies, if you saw a poll I put up on Twitter recently, it was I like, you know, what, like, about, like, you know, like my top 3 favorite movies. And if you saw that poll, you know, my top 3 movies is Chasing Amy. Chasing Amy is a movie by Kevin Smith, you know, from Clerks and Jay and Silent Bob fame. He did a movie in that same universe about a guy who dates a lesbian. Like, you know, and you find out a lot of things about her and her character, and it's not just she was a lesbian. At some point she was straight, but she didn't really understand her sexuality, and she was kind of growing into her own, and like, and that movie has been one of my absolute favorites since I first watched it. It resonated so strongly with me, and I still thought I was straight, and I didn't get why it resonated with me. Fucking, like, chew on that shit for a second. Like here I am, resonating so, like, poignantly with this character who is not straight and has this confliction with their sexual identity, while all the time going, yeah, no, I'm straight, I'm all about the push. But yeah, I think, like, gradually what started happening was, like, oh yeah, like, acknowledging that, yeah, no, like, there are cute guys, you know, doesn't make me gay, just, you know, some guys are cute. And then I just started going down this slippery slope. Anyone who follows me on Twitter, you might be aware that I am a fan. Actually, anyone who's ever seen a Q&A where I've talked about my favorite porn stars, there is a porn star by the name of Bailey J. She is a trans woman. So yeah, she's got a dick. And one of my all-time favorite porn stars. And so I started down this weird kind of rabbit hole where I started watching porn with trans women, or traps, you know, because honestly, I it's really hard to tell which, you know, if a woman acts, or if a woman with a penis is a trap or a trans woman, because I don't know what the hell they identify as. So, you know, unless they actually say it. Bailey J identifies as a woman, so she's a woman. But, so let's just say. So yeah, you know, I started watching porn with trans women, specifically trans women with other women. And the idea in my head was, this is, like, extra straight. This is so straight, because I'm watching, like, you know, because I'm watching what looks like two women. Like, I'm getting, like, two sexy female bodies, but I'm still getting the, like the penetrative aspect of male-woman sex. And it was, and like from there, just started to become like this weird slippery slope where, like, I would watch, like, I ended up going from watching like trans women with women, and then trans women with trans women, and then trans women with men, and then just men with men. And I'm like, okay, fine, fuck it. Okay, I have to be pretty fucking gay at this point. Like, now I'm just watching gay porn. Like, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm really, like, you know, like, and that's when I really just had to come to the terms with the fact that, like, yeah, no, like, I think men are attractive too, and I was so in fucking denial. Man, oh man. Like, you guys have no fucking clue. And I actually kept it to myself for, like, the longest time, because I want to say, I was about 23, 24 when I was making, making that transition, and really figuring, and really kind of figuring, myself out. And so, like, you know, 23 to 24, and ever heard of Serena Valentina? Yes. She was one of the ones I used to watch back in the day. Not too much of a fan of hers these days. Her face is just way too plastic for my taste. But what was I was saying? But yeah, like, you know, I kind of kept it to myself for the longest time, and it took me a while to really start opening up to people about it. Like I opened up to, one of the first people I ever opened up to was my friend Sierra, she's actually the one who had that big Star Wars wedding. So of course, really close friend of mine there. That's how close of a friend she was to me, that, like, I opened up to her about my sexuality back then. Then Agro's brother was another one. I had a couple other friends. And then I finally came out fully on my 28th birthday. And before I did this, I drove out of town to go visit my mother and visit her for my birthday. And while I was there, I told her I was bi, and she took it well-ish. I mean, she wasn't upset or angry. She's always had this mentality that, like if if my boy's gay, or if any of my kids are gay, I'm still gonna love them regardless, blah 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 blah. She still got, like, really high strung and smoked, like she still ended up smoking, like, literally an entire pack of cigarettes while I was there, because she was just like, oh, my boy's gay, my boy's bisexual, oh, my boy isn't straight. I'm like, oh my goodness. But she took it all right, you know. Like, and then I just ended up coming out on Facebook, and now it's pretty common knowledge these days. Like, I don't hide it at all. Like it's not something that it's not something I particularly parade around either. Like Danny, Geekdom 101, like, Danny didn't know I was bi until I was in Tampa having dinner with him. I'd gotten into town, we had hung out for a bit, we went out for dinner, and he had made some joke about me being gay, and I went, well, you know, bi, and he goes, ha ha ha, wait, were you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm bi. He's like, oh shit, dude, I had no idea. I'm like, well, yeah, I've never told you. It's not like a big deal. And, you know, by that point, I just didn't care. And it was really funny that like anything that would kind of give away my sexuality, like, Danny kind of freaked out for a bit every so often. Like, when I started following the trans porn star Bailey J on Twitter, he was just like, bro, people can see that shit. Like, and I'm like, so? People are gonna know I like to jerk off the dicks on, like, sexy women. I don't care. So, yeah, Quaman didn't know until he made his gay stereotypes, his video on, like, gay characters in Dragon Ball, and I'm like, dude, this fucking video of yours is goddamn offensive. And he was just like, well, you know, I asked Goshen, and Goshen's gay, and she doesn't. It was like, she's a lesbian, okay? And then we kept going back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm bisexual, and as a bisexual, I find this offensive. So yeah. So yeah, that is how that all came out. Like, that is, I have been completely out since then. Some people will argue that, like, oh, well, you're not really bi. I mean, you've never fucked a guy. It's like, I mean, I've never fucked a dude, but that's only because, like, I'm one, like, I don't sleep with people I don't have, like, real emotional connections with, and I, like, a lot of the guys I end up liking, when I do end up, first off, me liking someone is such a rarity. That's first off. But, when I do like someone, it's, you know, usually it's female. When it is a male, it's either they're straight or they're taken. So it's not even, you know, so, you know, that's, kind of, you know, my issue there. Like, it's just, that's why I've made out with men before, and that's fine. And I still, occasionally watch gay porn. I watch porn for dick sometimes. So yeah, that's just kind of my stance on that. So people who want to go like, you're not bi or you're not pan or whatever the fuck I want to call myself this week, because technically, really, I think I've said this before, I really prefer to be identified as pansexual because I feel that that's more accurate, because I am attracted to trans women, and I am really more just kind of attracted to kind of effeminate twink guys than I am, like, you know, I'm not really into, like, big muscly dudes or anything, or bearded guys or anything. I'm sorry for everyone who wants to ship me an aggro. Ugh, no. But yeah, like, the reason I always just kind of say I'm bi, and I think a lot of pansexual people do this, is, it's just fucking, it's a pain in the ass to explain to people, and people just don't know what it is. Like, having to explain being bisexual to my aunt was difficult enough. My aunt is pretty fucking liberal, and I had to, for like 20, 30 fucking minutes on Facebook, having to goddamn explain to her. I think I actually ended up calling her on the phone, because I had like a long conversation with her on Facebook, and that didn't go anywhere. And then like 3 days later, we had a phone conversation. I had to like meticulously explain to her what it meant for me to be bisexual before it finally clicked in her head. And if it's like that, if that was so difficult just to go, yeah, no, I'm attracted to both, I can only imagine how difficult it is to fucking try to explain pansexuality to people. You know, so yeah, I just tell everyone I'm bi. Yeah. Okay, what's a pansexual? See? Yeah, this is why I don't do it. Let's see, there was something, I keep seeing the same question. I'm gonna fucking find it, because I keep seeing like 2 or so people keep asking it over. Hey Zeon, what's your opinion on Wahhabism, a super conservative type of Islam that sponsors terrorism? I've never heard of this, but if it's some sort of Islamic terrorism thing, I think it's fucking terrible by just its very nature. So yeah, no, that's how I feel about that. I don't know the specifics, so I can't really say about, you know, anything about that. So yeah, pansexual means attraction to just about anyone and everyone, right? Kinda, sort of. I mean, it's really less that you're less attracted to like gender than individuals, really. I mean, for me at least, that's what it like. That's how I kind of view it, is that I'm far less interested in a person's gender than I am the person themselves. You know, are you wearing pants? Surprisingly, well, I mean, I'm wearing shorts. But you know, yeah, I'm actually not in my boxers for once. I don't know why the hell I'm actually wearing pants of a particular type. My roommates are fucking asleep. I don't give a shit. It's fucking hot in here, even though I have a goddamn fan on. Like, I feel bad for anyone who has to deal with any kind of shitty audio distortions because I left my fan on, because I'm just not going to fucking do this shit without a fan. What's your opinion on the end of the world? I think the human race is a lost cause, and bring it on. Like, honestly, I do not fear the end of the world whatsoever, because at the end of the world, because the only reason I would want to exist longer than I already do is just to see what happens. To see what we achieve in the future as a society, as a culture. That is what I want to live for. Beyond that, my life means absolutely nothing to me. Like honestly, if I could like see the future and just go, oh, I know everything that ever will. Huh, that's where we're headed. I might just fucking kill myself, honestly. Because that's the only thing that really keeps me bound to the fucking mortal coil, is a desire to see where we go from here. Because at that point, what else is there? Like, I honestly just... Do you believe in aliens? Like, people in saucers and that come to Earth and, like, probe people? No. Do I think that there's probably life out there on some other planet in the infinitesimal fucking planets out there? Yes. I think statistically there's got to be at least one other fucking habitable planet that was able to birth life. Will we ever meet them? Probably not. But, you know, whatevs. They're probably doing their own thing. Thinking about, like, man, I wonder if there's people out there in space. And to them, we're the aliens. So, yeah. Would you do another stream like this, but bring your friends on? Okay, see, the thing is, though, with bringing friends on, like, the only friend I really live with is Aggro. And bringing other friends involved would be, like, having to, like, okay, everyone, huddle in my room, which is hot and unpleasant because I live in fucking Florida. You know, it would get really uncomfortable. Like, it would get really uncomfortable really goddamn quick, and I don't know what we would even talk about. Like, especially if you want to, because, like, me and my friends don't really talk about, like, personal shit that much. Like if you follow, like, Gigaboots, you know, my friends who do that, like, I don't really talk to them about my personal shit ever. Like, there's like honestly, out of all of my friends that I get personal with, I talk to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have like 6 friends who I will open up with about my life and my thoughts and my problems and shit like that. I have, because honestly, for the most part, I kind of just feel like I am a nuisance, and I don't want to bother other people with my bullshit. That's just kind of how I've always viewed it. Even though, like, I am always more than willing to listen to other people's problems, I very rarely want to go to people about my problems. Your friends using Discord or something for the stream. Oh, I mean, I guess I could. I mean, do I even have anybody on my Discord that's even online? No, all of my friends are offline right now. Ain't that some wild shit? But yeah, honestly, like, I don't know what friends I could really bring on here to talk about openly about things. I mean, Danny's a pretty open guy. I could probably talk him to do something like that. Maybe Gabby. But yeah, thoughts on blood is thicker than water? Fuck no. I could not give a shit about family. I do not think that because someone is related to me, I owe them any more than other people in my life. Josie. Oh yeah, Josie would be a pretty good one to bring. Would also be pretty nice to have on here. Yeah, because she's really great too. But yeah, as far as like like the whole like family comes first thing, I have never agreed with that. I've actually gotten into arguments with my mother because I have an uncle who was really shitty and short-tempered and violent, and he's not like that anymore. But I don't think that like he should have ever been given the amount of chances he had to ever fix himself. He should have kept being accepted back into the family when he was being violent and breaking shit and getting arrested. And I just don't care about the whole like family comes first thing, because to me my friends matter to me way more than my family. Like, I get to decide who my friends are. My friends are people who I have built personal bonds with and who I trust. My family is just people I happen to be related to. So yeah, like when it comes to my family, there's like two I care about. There's my mother and there's my aunt. And that's about it. I had an uncle, he's dead now. So now I just have those two. I couldn't give a flying fuck about my father. I couldn't I couldn't when I came into this thing okay, let's hold up. I'm going to respond to this one. Why is it when I came into this thing, I immediately see people shitting up the chat with retarded gender/sexuality horseshit? Well, because we were talking about gender and sexuality. Because I'm not straight. So that's where that came from. Dickhead? So yeah. But yeah, that is just my overall thoughts on that. Like I said, I get to pick my friends. I don't get to pick my family. And I shouldn't have to be forced to be saddled up with my family. My sister is a raging fucking cunt. And my mother wants me and her to get along, and I refuse to. Because fuck her. She's a bitch. If she's gonna fucking act like that, I don't need that shit in my life. My life is stressful and depressing enough without having to deal with her bitch ass or her fucking kids. Fuck that. So yeah, that's that one. Okay, what is the next question for the thing? I'm gonna scroll through and see if I can find anything good. Thoughts on incest. Don't have kids. Don't fuck children. There you go. What two consenting adults do is none of my goddamn business. That is my hardline stance. I don't think it should be illegal. I think it's relatively harmless as long as we, as long as, you're not bringing retarded kids into the world. Whatever. Honestly, I'm also kind of against mentally handicapped people having children, because you're just going to spread that genetics onto them, and that just isn't cool. I mean, if we're going to sit there and, say like, oh, incest is bad because you can make retarded kids, well, then you have to also make the argument then like, well, retarded people shouldn't have kids because their kids will be retarded, So yeah, that's kind of my hardline stance on that one. Fucking savage roast on your sister. Yeah, no, my sister's fucking horrible. I stopped actually like coming over and visiting my family for like holidays for a while because my sister literally punched me in the face like 5 Christmases ago. Probably even longer than that now. My sister's fucking crazy. What's your thoughts on the age of consent? Conceptually, not legally. Let's see. Okay, so the age of consent thing. How do I feel it's completely arbitrary to make 18 a cutoff point. It's just we go, 18, yeah, you're an adult now. Because you're still not, like, a fully developed, functioning adult. like your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. So where, so like, you know, where do you kind of like, you know, draw that line at like 18 is the number? And then you have to think of like, well, if you fuck a 17-year-old, oh, you're a pedophile now. Whoops. Yeah, no, I think it's mostly kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm definitely against the whole like obviously, don't fuck kids. Please just never fuck children. But at the same time, like, you have people who are, like, you know, like, you have young teenage girls who look fucking grown, and, you know, and if they're being sexually active, like, that puts you in a fucking danger zone. And vice versa for men also. Because, I mean, you could have, like, a 16-year-old guy with, like, a full fucking beard who's, like, 6'2", you know. And, you know, goes and and then he goes and, like, fucks a 25-year-old woman. And, now she's in fucking trouble. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the whole age of consent thing is, it's shitty. I think we need to protect children, but I also don't think we need to criminalize anybody who, like, fucked a 16-year-old. You know, as long as no one's being taken advantage of, that's kind of, you know, that's kind of my stance there. Thoughts on furries? They don't faze me. I don't understand them. Like, I honestly don't understand furries at all. Like there's like a few fandoms I just don't get, and like furries is one of them, and yeah, I in fact, like, there are three groups of people I will say I cannot wrap my head around: sports fans, non-binary genders, and furries. That being said, I will still try to accept and respect all of these, regardless of my understanding of them. Because that's all that's needed. Let's see. Had a friend who fucked a 17-year-old when he was 22. His life is now the worst ever thanks to the mother of the 17-year-old guy. Thoughts? Yeah, no, that's pretty shitty. You know, like I had a friend who almost had a similar thing where he had just turned, like, he was 19 and he was sleeping with his 17-year-old girlfriend, and he got caught, and he had to, like, marry her outright, and she had to, like, you know, move in with him. And yeah, no, like either that or she was gonna have him arrested for statutory rape, and it's pretty shitty. No, yeah, sporty non-binary furries. God damn it. Okay, that's a pretty good one. So yeah. What's so hard to understand about sports fans? I'm one. I just don't understand it. Like, I don't see, like, what people latch onto, because, like, because, like, you know, with sports teams, you constantly have, like, a rotating, like, you always have, like, rotating players, like, all the time. Like, players are being traded, new players are coming in, old players are retiring, and, like, basically you're just kind of latching yourself onto a brand name, and that's your team. Like, it doesn't matter if they're the best, or if they're even good, or, like, you know, or who's on the team. Like, you know, like, one guy's on your team, and he's your guy, and then all of a sudden he trades over to, like, the team that you really hated. Well, fuck that guy now. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand what people are attaching themselves to. Like, with anything else, I fully understand it. Like, you know, with fiction, you attach yourself to a narrative and characters. Even wrestling, you attach yourself to wrestlers, and even, like, you know, boxing, like a boxer, you attach yourself to an individual and you're following their narrative. With sports, I just do not understand what people are latching onto with it. So yeah. What age did you finally feel like an adult? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm 34 years old, and sometimes I still don't feel like an adult. I would say around 25 is when I've really kind of matured into the person I am now. But prior to that, I mean, when I was 16, I felt like I was an adult. I knew everything now. And then I hit, then by the time I was 18, I was like, man, 16-year-old me was fucking stupid. Now I got shit figured out. Then 20-year-old me looks at 18-year-old me, man, 18-year-old me didn't know jack shit. Now I got this figured out. And it wasn't until, I hit, age 25 when I was just like, you know what? I just don't know jack shit. I'm going to accept the fact that I don't know jack shit. And I think that's when I felt like an adult, when I accepted the fact that I don't actually fucking understand the world, because the world is constantly changing and it's complex and it's nuanced and it's complicated. That is when, I think, that is when I think I finally felt like an actual adult, is when I realized that feeling like an adult doesn't mean anything. Do you like math? What about other subjects of high school? I was never good at math. I kind of wish I had studied it more, because I was just easily bored by it. But I really kind of wish I had been more invested and gotten into it. Honestly, really my entire adulthood has been man, I really wish I paid more attention in school. Took my education more seriously, because I value education way more as an adult than I ever did as a kid, because I just wanted to get the fuck out of high school. Let's see. Do you believe in the afterlife? Well, I mean, I'm an atheist, so nope. That's... I don't believe... I believe when I am dead. The only thing... once the synapses stop firing in my brain, that is it. What do you... would you do a queer experience in fandom with Lance, Kaiser Neko, and Kendamu? Okay, so... Okay, well... That's pretty interesting. I don't feel like I could contribute that much. I really feel like, if anything, Kaiser and Kendamu would probably do much better, just kicking it themselves. Because, Lance isn't queer. Last I checked with Lance, he still identifies as a heterosexual male. He is just a gender nonconformist. He likes women's clothing, but he doesn't view it as women's clothing. He doesn't believe in subscribing genders to things. Subscribing genders to people is one thing, but to him, it's just this isn't a woman's blouse. This is a blouse, and he likes it, so he'll wear it. He thinks a purse is cute, so he's going to buy it and carry his stuff in it. He likes skirts. And I don't blame him. I mean, honestly, I am in a very similar boat where I am upset that the majority, how basic and, just fucking basic men's clothing is compared to women's clothing, where women get all these cuts and styles and variations and deviations from, all these different aesthetics, where men are well, we have our button-down shirts, and then we have our polos, and we have our t-shirts, and that's about it. And women can wear all of these, but men not so much. And, women can wear all these, but men can't wear, women's clothing and still feel that same sense of, comfort. At least social comfort. Honestly, I do, I have worn skirts. I think they're comfortable. I have at least one woman's t-shirt. It's a card captor soccer shirt that I've worn in a couple of videos. I haven't worn it in a while because I got fat, and then it just adhered too tight, and I just felt like a flabby piece of shit. I lost a lot of that weight now, so I could probably start wearing that shirt again. But yeah, that's that's kind of how I feel about that. Oh, right, I forgot. Like I said, fuck, what the hell was I saying? Damn it. ah, now I have to like go back and look at that question. Right, it was about the whole gender. There we go. The queer experience in the fandom. Yeah, it's just like Kaiser's actually gay, and Kendamu is a is a trans woman. Like that would make sense for them. Lance and I, like, I mean, I'm bi, but like I've never really felt like I'm kind of like different within the fandom. I've never really, because I don't really identify with my sexuality like that. Like it's not like a huge part of who I am. And and as far as like like I said, Lance, he's just a gender nonconformist, so I don't know if that really makes him feel different. I mean, I do know he gets hazed a lot for like anytime like he wears anything effeminate in a video, people will say shit. Fuck those people. Lance is one of the nicest people I've ever met. They should all go straight to hell. Because Lance is just like the best guy. But yeah, so maybe that would make sense for Lance to be in that, just because he does get pushback. I mean, because the only thing I really get pushback for is like painting my nails, and that's, I mean, my gender, like my gender is male, so that's just par for the course, and my sexuality isn't such like a big part of what I identify as that it really needs to be brought up in a video. Did not know Kaiser was gay, although it doesn't really matter anyway. Yeah, no, like, I mean, he doesn't like, I mean, if you follow him on social media, you'll see like pictures of him and his husband together and stuff, and they've said on a couple of streams that he's gay. Are you more attracted to men or women? Women. I would say, like, in the last 10 years, I have been attracted to 6 people, and that was 4 women, 2 guys. And so, yeah. Like, yeah, I definitely end up finding myself more attracted to women more than men. Like I said, like, with men, I'm very particular. Like, I really only find, like, effeminate men attractive. But with women, like more kind of masculine, tomboyish ones, I find attractive. Cutesy little girly ones do. Tall women, short women, kind of like like chubbier girls, more fit girls, like like the whole kind of spectrum, I guess, of women. Like the majority, like I will still find like traditionally attractive. Where with men, I'm really just only kind of attracted to a subsection of men, so that leaves me way more limited. Let's see. Saying going to hell coming from an atheist, kind of ironic. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, it's just a saying. It's so kind of rooted into language. So, yeah, like, it's just one of those things that you say. How shitty is your dad? My father is... man, this has gone from the existential crisis stream to the Zeon just talking about his entire personal life stream, which is fine. I don't mind being open about this stuff. But yeah, my mother and father got divorced when I was about 2. And I've been told that when I was a toddler and a baby and stuff and a very small child, my father was very attentive and doting, and like I was the most important thing in the world to him. And then when he got remarried and had kids with his new wife, he became way less frequent. And that's when I started getting older, so those are the memories that stick with me more. So I remember my father being completely absent the majority of my life. When I moved to Florida, my father just stopped visiting me, or my father just stopped seeing me altogether. I have literally not seen my father IRL since I was 9, and my mother has tried to play apologist for him. It's like, well, I took you away from him, and, you know, you shouldn't hate him. And I'm like, that is some bullshit. That motherfucker would go to India on frequent trips to visit his other family there. I'm his son. He never once tried to come and see me. He had an open invitation my entire fucking childhood. And now that I am a man in my goddamn 30s and he's a diabetic on his fucking deathbed, he wants to try and come back into my life and make it up in the last fucking second. Fuck him. I didn't need him growing up. I didn't need him as a child. I didn't need him as a teenager. I sure as shit don't fucking need him as a grown-ass man. That is my stance on my father. You know, like, I won't even call him, like, dad. Like, in fact, usually when I speak to people about him, like, people who don't know him, I'll just call him my father. He's not my dad. You know, he was my father, or is my father. When I do speak to people who do know who my father is, I just call him by his name. I literally will just say John. I'm like, yeah, like, oh, fuck John. Like, I don't want to talk to his fucking stupid ass. Like, my mother would be like, oh, have you called your father? I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk to John. You know, so yeah, that's how that's kind of how I view my father. And by the way, for those who are wondering, wait, your father's Indian and his name is John? No, John is the name he took whenever he came to America to fit in. But anyhow, there was a question I saw here, and oh no, it wasn't a question. Just be sure you will never regret it once he is gone. Okay, so I am a very emotionally detached human being from a lot of people. And like, my grandfather died earlier this year, and my mother was really torn up about it. And I've grown up with my grandfather being in my life quite a bit, and my response to my grandfather dying was, I mean, Mom, I can't really give a shit. He was just kind of a mean old bigot. And my mother understood where I was coming from, but that was just my kind of hardline stance. It was just like, he's just kind of a mean old bigot. I didn't feel like, I didn't feel like I missed him at all. You know, like, you know, he's been dead now for a few, like, 3 months now, I think. And whatever, you know, he was kind of a shitty guy when he was alive. He was, you know, racist. He beat the shit out of my mother when she was growing up. Like, I've heard nothing but terrible stories about him. Like, he stopped being abusive, but the fact that my mother even still accepted him into her life after that, fuck no. Like, I don't accept my father for being absentee the majority of my life. Fuck, fuck, having sympathy for someone who would ever abuse me. God damn. So yeah, I'm not gonna miss my father when he's gone. like that's just kind of how I feel on that. Like, he is so divorced from my life. And for quite a while, I didn't even know he was still alive. Like, I didn't hear from him for 3 years, and last I had heard, like he was horribly diabetic and sick. So yeah, like, I just did not care. Like, whatever. Oh, god damn it. I took a swig of water, now it made my throat worse. Who do you like in your family? I said this earlier, but it's my mom and my aunt. Like, my grandmother's fine. Just not particularly close to my grandmother at all. Honestly, I don't even speak to my aunt anymore because her and I got into an argument and had a falling out. So really, I guess it's just my mother. But the last time I kind of spoke to my mother, I was also kind of shitty. I'm a terrible son. I'm going to say that right now. I don't visit my mom very often. I rarely call her. I am a terrible fucking son. I do not deal with social interactions and communications very well at all. Like, my friends, I have commonalities with, so I can just call them up. Or I don't even call them. I'm just like, hey, dude, want to hang out? Yeah, sure. And we go fucking, like, play Smash Bros. Or, like, go to a movie. Or go get lunch. And we just talk shit. It's great. My mom, I can't do that with. Like, I talked to her about my YouTube shit. She doesn't care. It's my YouTube shit. So, yeah. No, like, I'm already terrible at communications with people. Like, that's probably one of the reasons why, like, I have fucking Shinji as the background for this whole goddamn stream, is because, like, I am just that bad at, like, communications with people. So yeah. Any other kind of life questions people want to ask? I'll answer a few non-life questions while I wait for those. Let's see. Thoughts on the upcoming Smash? Looks good. Looks like the best Smash Bros. I know I'm gonna buy it. I'm not huge into Smash, but yeah, I'm probably most definitely going to buy it. Is that why you really like Ava? Okay, so the reason I love Ava is because, like, every character in that is so incredibly relatable, even the ones I don't personally relate to, but like I could see these people existing in real life. Like Masato being someone who has to put on this grown-up face at all times, but, like, then has, like, her more casual, laid-back attitude, but, like, you can see these little hints of loneliness in her, and sadness, and just kind of her disappointment with herself. It's just, God, the characters in Ava are so fucking human. And that is what really draws me to Ava. Like, I mean, that, like, there's the whole... Because, like, the entirety of Ava is communicating with people is really goddamn difficult. I mean, that's what, like, the entire fucking movie, like, the human instrumentality project is to fill in the gaps so that nobody feels incomplete anymore. Because we're all incomplete, and we're constantly reaching out for people to fill these gaps in us. And we just can't do that, because we also push these people away because we're afraid of being hurt, and it's just... Oh, man, Ava's such a fucking masterpiece, man. I fucking love that show so much. And End of Ava is one of my all-time favorite movies. Thoughts on gun debates? I think we need to have more gun debates, because we need to stop shutting down conversations. The problem is that the pro-gun people keep shutting down discussions. I'm not going to say, like, fucking get rid of all guns, but I am gonna say, like, we need we definitely need some sort of regulation. We need to figure out something, because what we're doing is not helping. Like it's like things are getting worse. You know, and how many fucking dead kids are we gonna have to goddamn deal with before we really fucking, like, just find some sort of resolution to this? Because we keep fucking falling back on the, well, if we take guns away, only the bad people will have guns. It's like, well, no, because if you take guns away, like, the bad people can't really get guns. Yeah, teachers with guns is a terrible idea. Yes. Jesus Christ, yes. Now, that is the dumbest fucking thing. Like, oh my god. I was about to say, giving teachers guns is the stupidest thing Trump's ever said, but then I remembered, it's Trump. Any other human being, that would have been the dumbest shit they said, but it's Trump, and he said way more dumber shit than that. Ugh. But yeah, I don't know, fucking, like, metal detectors in schools, maybe, I don't know, like there isn't, like, a good single solution. You know, like, whenever you have a guy who can sit in a hotel room and just hail down bullets during an open concert, that's fucking terrible. Like, when a person can just walk into a gay club and mow down people, that's terrible. When someone can just walk into a church and mow down people, that's terrible. When a person can just walk into a goddamn high school and mow down people, that is fucking terrible. It's just, yeah, just more school security, right? Yeah, like, thing is, though, like, schools aren't the only problem. Like I just said, like, there's churches, there's fucking clubs, there's anywhere becomes a fucking, oh, God. What's your most embarrassing moment in your life? You know, I have, like, 2 embarrassing moments that I always fall back to, but like I don't think I'm actually embarrassed, like, cause I don't ever tell these stories like I'm embarrassed, because they make for great anecdotes, but I guess I was pretty, like, embarrassed when they happen. The first one was, this is right after a breakup. I wasn't eating a whole lot, and I went to a Vanilla Ice concert, and it was free drinks all night, and I got fucked up. So fucked up that I threw up blackout drunk and got kicked out of the concert. That is, one of them. The other one was Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby. Yes, he actually fucking performed Ice Ice Baby and Ninja Rap, and I couldn't even hear it because I was too fucking blackout drunk outside of the goddamn venue. It was horrible. Worst fucking day of my life, I would have to say. The other one was Aggro and I were, this is forever ago now. Aggro and I, this is actually before he and I ever even lived together. We were walking through the woods, and we ended up getting super fucking lost, and we came out, and we found, like, it was like some fucking Twilight Zone shit when we got out of the goddamn woods, because where we ended up walking out of was like a cul-de-sac that we didn't know existed and wasn't built yet. Like, the road was built and the land was all flattened out to start building housing there, but there wasn't housing there yet. So it was like some creepy Twilight Zone shit. And I've known Aggro for 12 years. Because someone just asked that. But yeah, so we are out of the woods, and we start just walking across this cul-de-sac, and there's now a stream breaking up the land between us and where we were headed. And across the stream is a big ass, like, across the stream is this big ass metal piping, this big fucking pipe. So Aggro's just like, can you walk it? I'm like, let me find out. So I start walking across this pipe, and as soon as it started getting too high off the ground, I immediately get vertigo and I fall off. And Aggro's just like, okay, can you shimmy across? And I'm like, well, yeah, I can shimmy. He's like, okay, we're gonna shimmy across. So Aggro is in front of me, or like, Aggro is in front of me, and Aggro's behind me, and we're shimmying across this pipe, and I am just, like, you know, every so often stopping for breath, because, like, after a while, like, I am not a fit boy. Like, you know, I'm not, like, in horrible shape, but I'm also not a fit boy. And I am, like, shimmying across this pipe, and I'm getting exhausted, and Aggro is, you know, like, behind me, and it's taking so long to get across this pipe that I start getting, like, antsy. So, like, I'm in the last stretch of clearing this pipe to And I'm so close to, you know, clearing this pipe and getting across. So I start shimmying faster, and I completely just lose my balance and flip underneath the pipe. I am latching on underneath this pipe with my hands locked together and my legs wrapped around the pipe. And I'm just like, aggro? Because I totally called him aggro back then. But yeah, like I call him by his name, and he's just like, shit. Long pause. Can you shimmy upside down? Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. No. Long pause. Land feet first. So, there I am. I release my feet from the pipe. I am hanging from this pipe now. Like, I am high enough that my feet are still not touching the water beneath me. That's how high up this pipe is. And so I'm, god damn it. So I'm hanging underneath this pipe, and I eventually just, like, I let go, and as I'm falling, I reach in my pocket and I grab my cell phone, I hoist it above my head so that doesn't get wet. And I land about waist deep in water, and I'm like, huh, alright, not that bad. I take, no bullshit, one fucking step, and I immediately drop from being waist deep in the water to chest deep in this murky ass water. I lose my shit, make my way all the way to the other fucking end of the pipe, or all the way to the other fucking end of the stream, just and I just, as soon as I hit land, just fall down, and I'm exhausted. I am exhausted from crossing that pipe. I'm exhausted from, like, forcing myself through this fucking chest-high water to get back onto land, and like, I look over, and, like, you know, Aggro's just like, you okay? And I'm like, adventure, woo! And Aggro's like, okay, he's alright. So then, I wanted to fucking kill this man. I've never hated Aggro more than in this moment, because this son of a bitch, then, like, when he got to, like, a post that was, because, like, the pipe was being held up by these big wood posts that were every so many feet, and so when he got to the nearest one, he immediately used it to brace himself to stand up, and then he just walked across the rest of the goddamn pipe so he could get over to me quicker. Oh, fuck him. Fuck him. So, I'm sitting there now, like, just in my boxer shorts at this point, like, trying to, like, dry out my shirt and dry out my pants, and then Aggro goes and, like, walks up, like, a hill, and he's just like, holy shit, I know where we are now. And, yo, Danny's here. I'm in the middle of telling a really embarrassing story about how Aggro and I were crossing a stream, and I fell off of a pipe and fell in a stream, and that's where we're kind of at right now. So yeah, like I said, so here I am, like, and the reason I say, like, you know, fuck Aggro for, like, the reason, I say, like, fuck Aggro is because, like, I being a bitch, had to, like, shimmy across this pipe, and, like, I fell, to then just see his ass stand up and just casually stroll across it, and I'm like, you motherfucker. But anyhow, so I'm sopping wet now, and Aggro goes and looks up a hill, And he goes, holy shit, I know where we are now. And apparently there was a business, like some factory or whatever, that Aggro used to work at. And the people who were there knew him still. So they got me a towel. And so they go in to get me a towel. So now I'm in like a wet t-shirt and my boxers are sopping wet and I'm wearing this fucking towel, and we just start walking to Aggro's house because that is the closer of two locations. So I am carrying my sopping wet pants and my sopping wet shoes and my sopping wet socks while we're walking, while I'm wearing nothing but a wet shirt, wet fucking boxers, and a dry towel. Aggro is trying to call his mom so she could pick us up. And, only a towel, why not dry clothes? Well, my clothes were fucking soaked. I didn't bring spare clothes. I wasn't planning on falling into a goddamn, stream. Jesus Christ. Like, that wasn't part of my day. It wasn't like, I'm gonna go take a hike in the woods and then go fucking dump myself in a body of water. I better bring some extra clothes just in case. Yeah, no. So I did that. And so yeah, okay. So we're walking and I am like I said, in this towel, and the most awkward thing I had to walk past throughout this entire experience is when we had to walk past the elementary school on our way back to Aggro's house. And it was past school hours, so there was no one there, but just having to basically walk pantsless past a fucking past an elementary school was easily one of the most awkward things in my life. But eventually Aggro gets a hold of his mom, and she gets off of work, and she drives by, because she isn't that far from us, and picks us up and takes us back to their house. And I get a shower, and they loan me some clothes to wear. Actually, they loan me something to wear long enough while my clothes are getting washed and dried. And yeah, that was my shitty fucking experience. That is probably my most embarrassing experience I've had. It makes for a great anecdote. It was great too, because Aggro was just like, Aggro felt really shitty because he was the one that coaxed me into crossing the pipe. So he was just like I looked at him and I'm like, don't you say a goddamn thing. He goes, nope, oh no, this is my fault. I am not going to make fun of you. This is all my fault. He swore to not tell this story or make jokes about it for at least a week. Because he took full blame for that. So he wanted to give that enough time of a buffer before it could be funny again, or where it could be considered funny. Alright, so this stream has now been going on for almost 2.5 hours. If anyone wants to hear more life bullshit from me, go right ahead. So yeah, I'll pretty much answer any type of personal questions and stories, advice, whatever. I don't really give good advice. I mean, I am like I said, I am a horrible fucking clusterfuck of a human being. You probably shouldn't take advice from me. Let's see. Have you ever been in a physical fight? Nope. Well, I've been in a couple of light scuffles, but yeah, no, it's just, yeah, that's about it. Never got into a full-blown never got into a full-blown brawl with anybody. Mostly because I'm fairly passive. I only really get pissed off, and get confrontational if Like, if I'm in, like, a situation of, like, just, that is injustice. I need to fucking deal with some shit. I deal with cognitive problems. Let's see. Hold on, let me read all this. I deal with cognitive problems. I had troubles in school and got picked on a lot. How could you live with it, though? I'm constantly comparing, depressed and insecure. I'm just ashamed and lost. Bro, I feel you. I am still like that. I'm never content with the work I do, whether it be in my personal life, YouTube life, like the stuff I create, the work I do at my job, just my social interactions. I constantly feel like I'm not like as good as I could be, or I should be better, and unfortunately, like I mean, like for me right now, like I'm actually in the process of seeking a psychiatrist, because I went through a massive depressive bout this whole month, honestly. Slightly before Kamehacon, and since then, I have been very anxiety-ridden. I've been really depressed, and I hit like an all-time low last week, where literally 5 days in a row, I broke down crying and just wanted to die. And that was finally like the breaking point for me, where I decided to stop like ignoring my emotional problems and my insecurities and my views and everything, and started and decided that I am going to speak to a professional. So I've recently went to my job, asked them about like what does my insurance cover. I actually have a list of therapists that I can now go speak to. I'm waiting to get my new insurance card, in the mail, so I can do that, because I lost my other one. Psychologist, not psychiatrist. Oh, well, yeah, sorry, psychologist, a therapist. I want to sit, I'm going to sit and talk to a person. Yes, Danny, if the first thing, like, a psychiatrist or whatever, like, the first thing, like, a therapist tries to tell me is, to take medication, I am just going to find someone else to talk to. I want someone to just, here's all of my emotional baggage, and just let me just unbox all that to you, and then you figure this shit out. So yeah, that is what that is what I am doing now. Like, because like I have in the past, I have dealt with my depression in not the best of ways. I have cut myself. I have drank heavily. And this time around, I did not want to do that. I want to stay as far away from that as I can. It has been a very long time, because, when I was younger, it was cutting myself. When I was older, it was drinking. And now that I'm even older, I'm trying to be a goddamn grown-up and actually get the help that I need. So, yeah. And honestly, I say everybody should do the same. If you are feeling upset, if you have depression, if you have insurance, talk to somebody. God damn, do not keep that shit in, because it's I found medication did nothing for me personally. I tried it out of responsibility to get better, but found it to be a waste. Yeah, no, for some people, medication, you know, for some people, medication just doesn't work. For some people, it gives them other problems. You know, it's just, I mean, I know people who have taken antidepressants, and I know people who haven't, and, you know, some people just go to therapy, and, you know, I'm going strictly for, I'm going strictly for, like, therapy. You know, I want someone to talk to, someone, because I have friends I can talk to. I've spoken to my friends, and my friends are pretty much, the people I've spoken to are pretty much the things that have been keeping me alive for, like, the last month. But they can only do so much, and I need to speak to someone who can find, like, you know, someone who really knows what they're talking about. Like, because there's only so much, you know, unloading my fucking baggage on my friends can get me. You know, like I need real psychology, not armchair psychology. So yeah, whew. Alright. That was a nice, good, depressive turn at the end there. Got to talk about therapy and cutting myself. Woo, yeah. You know, I wonder, like, if people even know, like, like, I wonder if people, like, even have a clue that, like, people like me are depressed, or if, like, or if people, like, just assume that, like, you know, the persona that they see in videos and stuff, like, that's just me, you know, like, you know, I'm overly confident and just a cool guy, blah, blah, blah. How do I know if I'm depressed or if I'm in denial? I mean, if you feel depressed, you're depressed. That's all there is to it. Yeah, you, me, and many of our peers have legitimate depression. Yeah, no, it is true. Yeah, no, like Danny makes, like, a really good point that, like, and I think it's also just people who create things, creatives, people who, you know, put themselves out there, I think are possibly more vulnerable than most, because, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like a lot of times when, like, a lot of my videos, like, it's like, you know, I want validation. Like, I want people to see my videos and think that they're good and to say nice things. I mean, they can disagree, and that's fine, but, like, you know, it is to see, like, oh, I have a following and people that care and want to hear my opinion, and even if they don't agree, that's fine. You know, like, it's in a lot of ways, like, YouTube, at least for me, is kind of an emotional crutch. And the thing is, though, it's really bad too, because, like, sometimes I deal with my depression by, like making videos, and then other times I'm so depressed I can't make videos. Like one of let's see, yeah, like, one of the things that I've currently been working on was, like, I was supposed to have the Battle of Gods movie review out before KamehaCon. I was making really, really good progress on it, and it looked like I was going to do it. Like, I might have been able to pull that off. And then I hit this bad emotional anxiety point in my life. And some shit happened that's nobody's fucking business, except for the handful of people I've opened up to about it. And I got really depressed, and I couldn't finish my video before KamehaCon because I just didn't want to work on it. And I came back from KamehaCon. Like, while at KamehaCon, I was ecstatic. I had a great time. I was the happiest I'd been in a long time. And when I got back, the depression set right back in, because I had like my post-con depression compiled with my regular depression, the stuff that was going on in my life that was making me depressed, compiled with leaving all of my friends. And there was like so many people I didn't even get to like see or like hang out with that much, so I was down about that. The people I did get to spend time with, I wanted to spend more time with. You know, it sucked. So, you know, being separated from all of that and then being thrust back into my regular life and dealing with the reality that I had to deal with and my own depression with the post-con depression, I have not been able to work on that fucking video. Like, one day I felt good enough to get some work done on it, and it was only for like a little bit. And since then I haven't really done anything else. I am feeling a lot better after I hit that big emotional like pit that I was in last week. You know, and then Zeon cried 5 fucking days in a row and just emotionally broke down and just wanted to kill himself. Yeah, once after that happened, I have been a lot better. My anxieties have gone down quite a bit. I'm having sleeping issues now. Ain't that a fucking bitch? But like, now that I am like past all that, like I'm doing a lot better. So hopefully I'm actually going to make progress on that video. So hopefully maybe by the end of this month I'll get it done. Because there's not that much that really needs to be done on it. That's the shitty part. There isn't a whole lot of stuff I need to do on it. Like there's so close to being done. There's probably about maybe 8 hours worth of editing I still need to do that video, and then it's fucking done. Urgh. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah. From the heat or the anxiety? I'm assuming you're talking about not being able to sleep. Anxiety. Just anxiety, depression, all that bullshit. Please don't ever consider self-harm. The vocal minority of jerks and Philistines may seem vast, but no, we all care about it. Yeah, no, like I said, I have not gone the self-harm route in a very long time. Like I said, like, I was, like, for a while considering killing myself last week, and that's last week. That's, you know, like, I had friends around that I could talk to, who I could open up to, and yeah, no, like, I'm, like, you know, I'm doing better. Okay, Shadow Dio 87 threw in $20 and said, "Will you be attending New York Comic Con this year? I hope you get through your obstacles." Well, thank you for that, and thank you for the $20. And no, I have never been to a Comic Con ever. I don't really go to conventions, really. I never, I go to like small local conventions, like really small conventions that are local to me. In fact, I don't even go to like the biggest convention that's near me, and that's Pensacon? Yeah, Pensacon is like the closest big-ish convention. Even that's not very big. Like, the only time I really go to a convention is really for like a specific reason. Like if it's not like a little small local convention, like I went to Tampa Bay Comic Con because it was just an excuse to hang out with Danny and Lance, and then of course Quinn and Juan and everyone else joined in, and that was great. But yeah, like I really originally only went there, like, you know, I didn't go there for the convention really. I mean, I got to meet the Ninja Turtles. That was awesome. But to me, like, you know, like, I was going there to hang out with my friends, like, that, and get to meet them for the first time. And the same thing with KamehaCon. I mean, yeah, getting to meet Ryo Horikawa, super cool. Getting some autographs from some of my favorite voice actors, really cool. I went there to hang out with, like, you know, to hang out with Danny and Lance again, and Quinn again, to meet Gabby for the first time, like, and hang out with her. Like, that's what I went to KamehaCon for. And there were so many people I just wanted to, like, you know, like, there was so many people I just wanted to meet there. Like, Josie I really wanted to meet, because we had spoken on Twitter a few times. Same thing with Jax Blade. Really wanted to meet Rhyme Style. Like, Dino and I have spoken a few times, and he's a really cool guy. And, like, I was really wanting to hang out with him, and he was a pussy, and then didn't show up. God damn it. So, yeah. That's... You know, like, yeah, I just don't go to conventions unless, like, there's an incentive. Like, I'm gonna be at next KamehaCon. I don't give a shit who's going to KamehaCon, guest-wise. I am going for, like, to see Danny and Gabby and Lance and, like, T. Hallums and Olympia and all these cool people I got to meet the first time, Josie, like, those are the people that, like, that's what I'm going for. Not to be like, oh, cool Dragon Ball guys, woohoo! No, like, I just want to spend time with my friends again. So, yeah, anything else to close this out on? Because, Zeon, I wanted you to sign my Daizenshu too. Got Danny too, though. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll sign anything people want me to. I'm not opposed to it. Like, next year at KamehaCon, I'm going to be a little bit more organized, and I'm going to let people know where I'm at. Like, I will tweet out my locations. And if you just show up to my panel, like, if you just show up to... Because I'm supposed to have 2 panels, then, like, if you guys show up to it, I will stay and talk and hang out and just chill and be cool. Like, you know, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Let's see. These are all just like weird ass fucking questions now. Like, is aggro a good body pillow? Guys, aggro and I aren't a thing. How did you meet aggro? Aggro and I met almost 13 years ago now. We met when Dan, if anyone knows, if any of you guys follow Gigaboots, Dan Video Games from Gigaboots, I met him because he had just moved into the town I lived in, and we were both working at Walmart back then. And then he went and, like, brought me to his hometown to meet his friends. And that's how I met aggro. And that's where I live now, is I live in their hometown. Because I wanted to get the fuck out of my hometown because I fucking hated it. I hated living there. I wanted something new and different. And I have been here ever since. You said one was going to be another GT Apologist panel one, right? Like a follow-up? It's going to be the GT Apologist panel. It's going to be slightly different. It's going to retread some of the same information, but also have more information, different things said, different jokes, hopefully. I'm going to write out some jokes. And I kind of want to make the next panels I do, because one of the things that I really loved the description of was AJ, Anime AJ, saying that that my panel was like a comedy special, a stand-up comedy special about Dragon Ball GT. And that's kind of what I was going for, but I really want to lean into that next year. Next year, I really want to just have, like, I don't want to fully script the whole thing, but I do want to have just, like, a shtick. And I want it to be, like, if I go more than 5 minutes without making a joke, I don't like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to make sure I have the funniest panel, the most engaging panel, and the people who show up are going to have a good time. The con needed more room for you and some others. Yeah, no, like our fucking panel rooms were so fucking small. Like so many people just did not get to come into our panels, and that sucked. Like all the rooms like hit max capacity every fucking time. Like I could not get into AJ's panel or Olympia's panel. Like I basically just like dick waved my way into fucking Comic Drake's panel. Because I was just like, excuse me, I'm Press, I'm Hail Zeon, I have a panel right after this one, so get the fuck out of my way. Can you record it this time? Yes. Next year, I am going to be way more, prepared. I'm showing up early to hang out with people. I'm going to be way more prepared. I'm going to bring a camera to record things. And yeah, so yeah, that's going to be like, I'm going to be fucking prepared next time. I'm going to have mostly scripted fucking panels, and it's going to be dope, hopefully. What's your job outside of YouTube? Yeah, I don't talk about... Okay, so I am perfectly fine with talking about specific things about my life. Like, okay. So, oh yeah, Garde Trace, thank you. You were there for my first panel, and you did record that. Thank you, so I could just... Now other people can see it. I wanted to see your GT panel, but I live way too far from KamehaCon. Well, as I just said, Garde Trace up above, he uploaded it. So all you do is just look up GT Apologist panel, and you will find it there. Going back to this one, like, what's your job outside of YouTube? Okay, so though I am perfectly fine with talking about personal, like, mental things about myself, my ideologies, philosophies, my worldview, my depression, like certain things like that, I am not the type of person to give out like specific things about my life. Like I'll never talk about like my exes in any type of real detail, like never give out any names. I'll never talk about my job, my current job I work at. I'll never say the city that I live in, though, you know, I'm in the Florida Panhandle, but I'll never say like the city I'm in. I'll never say my real name. I mean, like people, a lot of people know my name is Jay, which, by the way, for people who know my name, no, it's not okay to call me by my name because we're not friends. Like, you guys don't know me personally, so it's kind of crossing boundaries. But yeah, like, I keep a lot of personal details about myself like that secret. Will the stream stay up after you finish? Yes. It's going to be archived. But yeah, I never really just get into those things. Like, honestly, oh my god, you want to talk about some wild shit? Okay, I had one of my subscribers... Okay, so here I am at work, and this is the closest you guys are ever going to get to hear me talk about my job. Okay, so here's the closest you'll ever hear me talk about what my real job is. And it is that I work in retail. So, you know, I have a lot of people coming and going around me. Yesterday, I am just walking, going to the back to go do some shit that I need to take care of. When I hear someone go, "Hey, hail Zeon," and I immediately just, huh? Because I don't tell my coworkers about my YouTube channel. Like, a handful of them who are close enough to me know I have a YouTube channel. So I'm just like, what? And it's like, oh, it is you. I knew it. And I'm just like, Hi. You found me. But yeah, like it was, like I mean, like the guy was super friendly and he wasn't weird at all. Just said that he was a fan of me and Aggro, that he loved our videos. Like he was a fan of ours. He loved our videos, and that he had seen Aggro there like 2 weeks prior, because I guess also thing Aggro and I work at the same job. And so yeah, that is the, oh man, I got like mucus in my throat. Hold up. Weren't you in the back? Why is that person there? No. I wasn't in the back. I was heading to the back. I was out on the sales floor about to go into the back when somebody caught me. So I was just like, no, I mean, like, the guy was polite and fine. He said he had seen Aggro there. But yeah, no, like that, talk about some out of left field, jars the shit out of me. Because I live in like a small town. I am a YouTuber with 17k subs, most of which are completely fucking inactive. Like you can sit there and go, oh man, like, you know, Dale Zeon with his 17k subs. Yeah, like my channel is pretty fucking dead because I don't YouTube right, because I am self-destructive. But that's just me. But yeah, yeah, that was a weird one. That was a weird one. And yeah, is it bad that I low-key thought your actual name was Zeon? I mean, Zeon really isn't like a name. I mean, my name is a reference to Mobile Suit Gundam, like the original Mobile Suit Gundam. That's what Hail Zeon comes from. But yeah, like you know, as far as I'm concerned, though, like I keep a lot of my personal details to myself. Like you know, my real name, outside of like my first name, people know that. My last name and my middle name do not get out into the public. My you know, the weird thing is though, okay, fun fact, like if you follow the full Zeon extended canon, you could know my full fucking name, first, middle, and last, the city I live in, and the job I work. Like, that information is out there. It is just, you have to know the full Zeon extended canon. And I am not going to tell you guys where to look for that. So, but yeah, like, because I have other friends who do talk about like where they live, who also do YouTube. So if you know the full Zeon extended canon, you could find out a lot about me. Let's see. And also, someone else fucking asked if Aggro and I are dating. No, why do people, like, Aggro's not even gay. Like Aggro is, actually, I don't even know. I think Aggro's just asexual. I don't know. Like, I mean, like, he's either asexual or he's straight, and he just thinks relationships are a hassle and just doesn't want to fucking deal with them. So, yeah. Let's see. Zeon, the idea that the universe exists drives me crazy because no matter what the truth is, it is there, and we can't escape it. That is what gives me an existential crisis. Any advice? Man, I have no advice for existential crises, because I am in a constant state of existential crises. I have moments where I am doing better than I am low-key existential crisising, and but Aggro is agrosexual pretty much. That man loves himself more than just about anybody else. So to call him agrosexual would not be incorrect. I follow you and Gigaboots, so I think I have a good knowledge of what state y'all in because it's the same state as where my dad grew up. Okay, well, see, that's the thing, though. I have said the state. Like I said, like, I'm in the Florida Panhandle, but I'm not going to specify any closer to that. But, like I said, if you know the full extended lore, then you would know a lot more about me. But, yeah, no, like, it's... Like, what the hell was I talking about? I think the last thing I was talking about was aggro isn't gay. Like, it's just me. That's the gay one, or gayish one, or whatever the hell you want to call me. Like, LGBTQ plus. You know, like, why do we have to, like, add so much to that? Because, like, LGBT. Okay, I guess trans is now involved in that. LGBTQ. Yes, it's getting coming out. Like, LGBTQ plus. Oh my god. Just stop making it overly complicated, please. Yeah, you were talking about existential crisis. I mean, I am talking about existential crises and stuff, and like, it's just, I just don't have advice for them, because for me, my existentialism comes from the fact that I don't value myself or any of the things that I do. Like, there is a reason this is called Zeon's shitty vlog channel. Like, there's a reason, you know, like, there's a reason that, like, you know, like, I call it that because I take no pride in like, that at all. You're gay? Is that okay? Or if you are not, fine. Again, that is fine. Yeah, no, like, Sailor Shadow, you missed the whole thing where I went into long-winded detail about how I discovered being bisexual. Like, this whole fucking thing was, this whole fucking thing has been about that. How long have you had existential thoughts? Well, I mean, I think a lot of depression just comes from existential thoughts, because, like, when you start really kind of thinking about yourself and your self-worth and your value and all of that bullshit, I mean, that is a form of existentialism. So really, like, probably my teen years, when I really started thinking about, like, the scope of the universe, like, at some point I started thinking about, like, the scope of the universe and how infinitesimal, like just how insignificant I am. Like, it's kind of sucks. Like, yeah, like, when what the hell was I saying? I was trying to read the chat and I got fucking distracted when I lost myself mid-sentence. I did miss, like, hours of the stream. Yeah, okay, yeah, like I said, it's like, yeah, whenever the archive goes up, you can see that, and, you know, me talking about, like, because it's a phenomenal story for anyone who hasn't heard it, because I got to talk about how I was in super denial about being gay, and then how trans pornography gradually made me realize, oh no, I'm watching this for the dicks. So yeah. But yeah, yeah, like, I think, like, you know, whenever I started thinking about, like, existential thoughts and, like, just the whole scope of the universe and how just insignificant I was, like, that was probably my early 20s. Yeah. Come on, man. Are you saying you have more characteristics that define you aside from sexuality? It is funny how people so easily focus on that when there is so much more to a person. Yeah, no, I don't really like that. Like, it's just like, oh, like, you know, because, like, I just do not get into the whole, like, oh, well, I'm bi. That is a huge part of who I am. I mean, it is a part of who I am. So it was really weird, like, whenever, I think, like, one of the first times I had ever mentioned it on Twitter, like, the first 2 times I ever mentioned being bi on Twitter, I had a whole bunch of people being like, you're bi, you're gay, blah, blah, blah. No, actually, I said I wasn't straight. And just the fucking shit that came from that, it was just, nobody was mean about it, but just, like, I had said, because I had said I was, like, what was it? I said it was a. Oh right, there we go. I made like after Trump became president, I had tweeted. It's like great. I'm not white, straight, or Christian. I'm fucked. I kind of figured you were bisexual because you had that Bailey J poster on your wall. How has anybody ever... I don't... Is that actually visible in my videos? I've never looked. That's funny if it is. I mean, I think I took a picture of my waifu figurine collection and Bailey J was back there because she is a waifu. Fucking Danny with his fucking I knew it. Okay, Danny, let me just say it is not actually a poster. Actually, Danny, fun story. I bought that while I was in Tampa with you guys. Scott Blair, the artist that that Megan was with, like yes, okay, so you do know about that picture. Okay, I was never sure. Okay, I was thinking, like, I was starting to think maybe you didn't show it to anybody but me. That is not true. Like, Megan knew about it because Megan knew I was a huge Bailey J fan, which is why she told me about it. Like, she literally grabbed me by the arm and, like, was just like, look. And I'm like, what am I looking at? And then I didn't see it. And then she just, like, grabbed it off the shelf and just put it in my face. And I'm just like... And, I'm just like... and I was just like, oh my god. So I had to buy it. I'm like, there's no way I was not going to buy, like, fan art of my favorite trans porn star. Really, just my favorite trans porn. Who is Bailey J? Bailey J is a trans porn star. She was originally, she kind of blew up on 4chan way back in the day as Line Trap, and she is, I mean, you can just Google her. I mean, be forewarned, if you're not okay with seeing penis, you're gonna see penis probably. But yeah, no, she's a trans porn star, and I've been a very big fan of hers for a very long time. I'm kind of jealous of Danny because she actually lives in Tampa, so it's like he actually has like a small % chance of possibly bumping into her in real life. So yeah, like, you know, that's something that I'll never probably get. Like, I'd have to, like, just go in, pre-tits or post-tits, Zeon, come on, which is the better version of Bailey? Oh, man. Look at Danny, Bailey J lives here? Yes. Scott, who actually was trying to get her to come to Tampa Bay Comic-Con, so she almost, like, he was trying, she just wasn't down for it, I guess. But yeah, as far as pre-tits or post-tits, I like both. I like thick Bailey, but I kind of prefer her before she started doing, like the breast implants. I kind of liked her more petite, boyish, her more boyish body, when she didn't have breasts, and she just kind of had, like, the natural long hair, because she wears a lot of wigs now. I thought all porn stars lived in California. Nope. So yeah, like, I like both. I like both Bailey, because you have, like, thick, big tittied Bailey, and that's great. You have kind of not quite as thick, like, you know, smaller titted Bailey, and then you just have flat chested, almost effeminate boy, Bailey J. Wait, Bailey is trans to female? Yes, Bailey was born male, is female. I feel one of these days I am going to do a stream where I do not talk about my super gay crush on Bailey J. Like, one of these days. Like, I swear, every fucking stream I have, like, it always, at some point, my, Bailey, or what's it, Zeon's favorite is still that one redhead, what's her name? Redhead? Oh, I mean, you talk about like my favorite porn star. My favorite porn star is Gianna Michaels. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, there's Hitomi Tanaka, and then there's... She's done a million scenes. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know. Yes, okay, good. We are on the same page. So, yeah, Gianna Michaels. So, yeah, Gianna Michaels. Yeah, like, I always end up fucking talking about my fucking porn star, like favorites. Like, every time you motherfuckers make me bring this shit up. I mean, this time it kind of makes sense because I'm talking about like, you know, yeah, because I'm talking about my sexuality and just like, your freaky porn addiction. My freaky porn addiction? I am quite the porn casual. I haven't looked at porn in like 2 fucking days, thank you very much. Watch, someone's gonna be like, wait, like 2 days isn't that long, and then I'm gonna be like, oh shit. But yeah. Favorite black porn star? Favorite Latina and Asian porn star? I don't know. Like, I don't really follow porn stars. That's the thing. Like, I have like a handful that I like. Like I said, like there's Gianna Michaels, Bailey J, Hitomi Tanaka, April O'Neil, and that's kind of about it. Like, if I ever just want to like jerk off to like black porn, I'll just kind of look up like big titty black chick and just jack off to that. Or if like Asian, I mean, I guess I kind of go with Hitomi Tanaka, but if like Latino, same thing. I'll just kind of like honestly, like I am very just not picky. Like it's the same thing. Like whenever I want to like jack off to trans porn, which honestly probably takes up half of my porn search history. Bailey should fuck Gianna. My God, Danny. If a video existed of Bailey J fucking Gianna Michaels, I would die. I would die because I would never leave my room because I would never stop jacking off. I would die of malnutrition. Either that or like the festering wounds and like infections I would deal with from having a chafed penis and having like shit my pants for several days in a row, and just the infection just basically just kills me at some point. Anyhow. You're weird, bro. I'm weird. What? I'm not weird. I mean, it really depends on your definition of weird. I don't know. I find... I don't think I have a dream porn scene. Really? Really, Danny? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna call you a liar, but... Danny, you're Danny. I believe in my heart of hearts you have a dream porn scene. Just saying. What was I looking for? There's something else I was gonna read and I fucking lost it. Let's see. Okay, so any more life-related questions? Anything? Your dream porn has to be seen. That's fine. Ugh. Okay. So yeah, All right, anyone else want to would you recommend buying a fleshlight? I mean, I don't own one, but I mean, I don't see the problems with it. You know? You do what you need to get off, goddammit. I don't shame anybody for anything. Oh, here's a good one. Oh, Zeon, anybody? Okay. So, wait, there's two questions. I'm probably gonna wrap it up on these two questions unless like a really good one comes in after these. What is your definition of evil? Okay. For me, evil is anything malicious you do to another person. If you commit an act that is malicious on another human being, that is evil. Anything you do to directly harm another human being, I view as evil. Like, I feel everybody should have the right to do whatever the fuck they want as long as it does not infringe on, like, the happiness of another human being. And the moment you do that, like, you know, that's evil to me. In fact, when I was talking about earlier about, like, Jehovah's Witnesses and my ex, like, she deals with, like, you know, like, when she got kicked out of the witnesses, she was shunned, and that hurt her. That made her upset. That made her horribly depressed. I mean, she was already horribly depressed before that, but, you know, that added to it and made her feel like garbage. And they did this intentionally, and they did it because of what was written in their book, but it was something that, like, was hurtful and damaging and mean-spirited. Maybe, you know, they, like, from them, it was they were doing it because, you know, God decrees it so, but they're doing a shitty thing. And that to me is evil, because you're literally making someone feel like garbage intentionally. And that, I think, is just never okay. Let's see. What was the other one? Zeon, any advice on coming out? You've lived with it. I would appreciate advice. Okay, so I want to say right now, like, if you're gay, or whatever, it is so much easier now to come out than it ever was before. Like I said, like, you know, it took me a long time to even realize my sexual identity, and I was a grown-ass adult. I think what made the only thing that made coming out difficult for me was that, the thing that made coming out difficult for me is that I was already so old by the time I had come to this realization about myself that it felt weird to tell people. And the people who knew me for dating women. Like, and I wasn't currently attracted to a guy at that time, so it was just like I didn't feel like there was a need to come out, because I'm just like the main reason, like, I came out was it was really limiting me in the things that I could talk about. Like if I wanted to talk about finding a guy attractive, I couldn't with my friends because they didn't know that about me. And that's where a lot of my social pressures were coming from that and my desire to come out. Like, I would say just, like, unless you come from, like, a super religious family, you shouldn't have any issues coming out. Like you should just do it. Like, it is, yeah, like I said, it's I imagine it's still difficult to deal with. Like, I mean, it's gonna be difficult, but I feel like once you get that information out there, and like, you'll feel better. Now, you might end up with, like if you, like, say, if you had a super religious family, you may want to keep that to yourself. Like, if you have, like, a super conservative family, that's the only reason I could see not coming out. But I would say, when you do, okay, my mother is very religious. Okay, so now, is she accepting of gay people at all? That's also a big thing. Because if she's, like, because, you know, my mom's, like I said, my mother's a couch Christian. She's religious. But, you know, if, she, you know, but, like, you know, she's accepting of gay people and stuff. She's gotten a lot better about her views on gay people and trans people and stuff. Oddly enough, television did it. You know, not having a bisexual son made her more accepting of gay people and trans people. Watching television and seeing them in media and seeing them being humanized and seeing their personal struggles and being able to identify with them, that's where my mother started, like, opening up to being way more accepting of gay and trans people. So for anyone who says that representation in media doesn't help anything and won't change people's opinions, bullshit. I've witnessed it firsthand from my, like, seeing my mother. But yeah, okay, so my mother is very religious, a bit. Not sure how she would deal with her flesh and blood, though. Okay, okay, so let's see. All right, if you're really worried about your mother, okay, if you're really worried about your mother, I would wait until you're moved out. Like, when you're old enough to move out, then do it. If you're really that concerned. But yeah. And Danny is talking to someone named Frank. I have no clue who the hell he's talking about. But yeah, you are very welcome. And trying to think of anything else to add to this. Like I said, if you're really that worried about your mother, maybe just hold it in until you've moved out. Because once you're out of her house, you know, you don't have to live with her not accepting you. But if she's not going to accept you, that's not good for you, and that might be some ties you need to cut. Because when I said earlier, like, you know, the whole, like, you know, fuck the whole blood is thicker than water thing, like, you know, I mean that. Like my friends mean more to me than my family does. And, like, the only reason my mother is the most important person in my life because she's been, you know, like she's never, like she God damn it. Like, my mother's the most important person in my life because she's always been there for me. She's, you know, she wasn't happy about me being bi, but she always accepted me, you know. And the few toxic things that she has done to me when I was growing up, like, you know, shaming me for certain effeminate things that I was into, she has apologized for, because she's grown out of that stuff, and she's become way more progressive as she's gotten older. You know, she's a woman who was raised in the fucking 60s and 70s, like, you know, so I give my mother some leeway. And she is trying, and she is getting better. Anyhow, you know, that is my advice. And this was an emotional 3-hour journey, right? Yeah, no, like, like I said, I am willing to talk to people about these things. Like, I'm not as, like, I am too fucking, like, old at this point to be ashamed of anything that I am. Like, I'm not ashamed of my sexuality. I'm not ashamed of my porn preferences. I'm not ashamed of, like, painting my nails, or, like, wearing women's shirts, or fucking watching My Little Pony or Sailor Moon or anything. I just don't care, because fuck it, man. Like, I'm just too old for it. And, like, and if people don't want to accept me, then I don't need to accept those people into my life. Plain and fucking simple. You know. So, yeah. if anybody, hey, it's good that you are comfortable in your own skin. Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, I think everybody should be. I mean, I have plenty of insecurities, but like, I'm not gonna be ashamed about the things that I genuinely love and the things that I want out of my life. So yeah, anything else? Anyone, you know, anyone else want to ask any more questions before I'm out? Anyone else want to, like, just anything else? Anyone else need some woke ass life advice from Zeon? Can you do more Evangelion videos in the future? Okay, so, alright, so I am currently in an Ava rewatch group with Gabby and Agro and a few other of our friends. And ideally, what I would love to do, and I need to talk to both of them about this, is catch them during that magic hour where they're both awake, and I can do a podcast with them after we're done watching Ava. Because Agro is a lifelong, like, you know, he grew up watching Ava as a teenager. It's one of his favorite anime. He's bought that shit twice on DVD. Boy fucking loves Evangelion. He has had Gendo Ikari for his profile, like his avatar, on everything since I've known him. Every forum he's ever been on, anything where he could have a custom avatar, he will put Gendo Ikari as his avatar. Like, the only thing he doesn't do it for is social networking sites. Like, it was funny, like he jumped into our Ava Rewatch group, Discord group, and then he was just like, oh my god, I just jumped into an Ava Discord group with a fucking Gendo profile pic. Jesus Christ. So yeah, and Gabby is on the complete other end of that, where she's never seen Ava before. She's going through it for the first time, and seeing her reactions to it has been fantastic. So seeing her, like, you know, go through it and experience it for the first time, and just having her being blindsided by everything that Ava is, and it's so great. Seeing her reactions to it is so great, because even though she knows a few Ava spoilers, there's a lot she just does not know about Ava, and Ava is so just far outside the realm of what she was expecting. Because she's like, okay, it's like some sort of dark subversive mecha anime, but like it just keeps hitting her, like blindsiding her with like, oh, now it's like a fun mech series, but now here's like some existential crises. Here's like this really dark cutting criticism on people with depression, and like she's just like, oh my god. So yeah, I think I need to watch Ava then. Yes, everybody should watch Ava. And the thing that's great about her watching Ava is that she's doing it right. Like, she is going through and like picking, like, right out of the gate, she is picking up on like little bits of dialogue and symbolism and just like certain little direction things, and like oh, like, you know, like it's really cool like how they framed this shot to like show Shinji's isolation, and I'm like, yay, Gabby's watching it right. She's totally getting Ava on her first fucking try. I didn't watch Ava right the first time at all. So like, you have Agro, hardcore Ava fanboy. Gabby, never watched Ava before. And then you have me, who's kind of in the middle, where I didn't start watching Ava until I was 22. And I watched Ava, and I didn't watch it right the first time. And then the second time, I watched Ava, I did it right. You know, I was actually paying attention, because I didn't know what the hell I was getting into with Ava. Ava, the first time, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't even... What? This ending is dumb. Fun fact, the day I met Agro was the day I finished watching the Evangelion TV series. And then, when Agro was just like, well, did you watch End of Ava? And I'm like, no. And he goes, were watching End of Ava. So then I ended up hanging out with him and watching End of Ava. And that was the first day I met Aggro. That's how meeting Aggro went. Was me being like, hey, you are a huge Ava fanboy. He goes, yep. And I'm like, all right, like, what the fuck was Evangelion, man? I don't even know. Oh god, is Evangelion better than Cowboy Bebop? They are completely different shows. Like, Cowboy Bebop is episodic and easily digestible and fun. Evangelion can be fun. Evangelion is complex and emotionally upsetting. If you really get invested in Ava will break you. And it's kind of why I love Ava so much, because it's a show that really hits me on a really strong emotional level. And honestly, I am enjoying my Ava rewatch so much that Ava's probably gonna jump up in my favorites list. Because right now, like, Ava is kind of sitting, I think, around, like, number 8 out of my top 10. Like, I think I have it slotted, like, right past Utena. Like, Utena, I think, is, like, my number 7, and I think Utena is, like, my number 7, and Ava's my number 8 favorite anime. And, yeah, it's, like, going through this rewatch, like, Utena, or not Utena, Ava, like, Ava's moving up in my favorites list. If Ava consistently continues to be better than I remembered it being, then holy shit. Because, like, I still remember End of Ava fairly well, because I watch End of Ava every couple of years, because it's one of my favorite movies. So, and I'm wondering, like, if going through and re-experiencing Ava again and feeling this much closer to Ava this time around than I ever did before, like, because this is only my 3rd watch of Ava. This would be like my 5th watch of End of Ava, I think. 5th, 6th, something like that. But yeah, this is like only my 3rd time watching Ava all the way through, and if getting this much out of Ava somehow makes End of Ava even better than it did the first time, then yeah, Evangelion might end up just jumping, just huge, like, just be like a huge jump in my favorites list. It might even break my goddamn top 5. In fact, honestly, I need to go back and just rewatch all my favorite anime. Like, I need to go back, and I don't think I really need to rewatch the Monogatari series. 1, because that's long as fuck, and 2, like, Monogatari is just so consistently good, and there's so much of it that I don't really see it really moving any places. But, like, Escaflowne I need to watch again, Full Metal Alchemist I need to watch again, Steins Gate I need to watch again, Madoka Magica I need to watch again, Utena, I just purchased all of Utena for the 2nd time to own it on Blu-ray, and yeah, is Eureka 7 on your best list, Zeon? It's not. I really enjoyed Eureka 7. I need to go back and watch it again, because I only watched it the one time, and I didn't really get into Eureka 7 until about the halfway point is when I really started getting into the groove of the show. So yeah, I need to watch Eureka 7 again, and after you finish watching Evangelion, you should start reading The Promised Neverland. I don't read manga, really. Sorry. It's just something I just don't do. I have been thinking about watching Evangelion or Escaflowne again. It has been many years since I watched it. Yeah, no, Escaflowne is great. I still love it. Like I need to go back and actually watch my recent Blu-ray set of Escaflowne, because I bought it on Blu-ray and I started watching it and then I just stopped. So I need to go back through that again. And I need to go back through Escaflowne again, because I still haven't really watched the Funimation dub. I'm not too keen on it. I like the original dub more. I like the Japanese version more. I really think the Funimation dub is like the worst way I've watched Escaflowne, but I want to give it a fair shake and watch the whole thing. Do you go through post-anime depression? Like, when I finish an anime, do I get depressed that it's over? No. I mean, maybe something like Evangelion that really weighs on me psychologically and kind of just makes me think about life and people and interactions and shit. So yeah. Is Inuyasha one of my top 10? Fucking no. Do you believe humanity will collapse on itself like Devilman Crybaby style? Without the devils, of course. Man, humanity's such a fucking shit show. Like, okay, so here's one. Like, you want like a huge confliction in me as a human being? I both empathize with being a humanist and a nihilist. I care about human rights. I think human beings are fucking dog shit and we need to be wiped off the planet. I think we are just the worst. So yeah, no, like I am, like the nihilist in me says, man, fuck that. All right, I think, okay, guys, this stream's been going on for 3.5 hours, so I think it's good. I've gone through both my cups of water. My throat is really sore, so unless anyone has anything else, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys, I will give you like 10 more seconds to throw me one more question, like one more good question. Like, you know, so if you guys have anything else, you know, oh, for a final time, Nate RG, for a final time, thank you so much. Well, you're welcome, man. Like, I hope you get to work things out with your mother and get to just be, you know, like, be happy with yourself and just, you know, be yourself. So yeah, it looks like nobody's got any more life shit they want to talk about. So I guess I'm like, yeah, people just thanking me for answering questions. So I guess sorry, the fucking chat's making me laugh because someone just wrote China's clit was the best. She does have quite the mighty clit, or had. But yeah, hey Zeon, why do you think people respond more negatively than positively? That is a... I think people are just reactionary to negative shit. Like, when people are negative about something, you feel a more emotional attachment to negative thoughts than positive thoughts, unfortunately. This is probably why people get so fucking easily depressed. Because, like, think of it this way. Like, if you have a bad experience at a restaurant, that's gonna stick with you, and you're gonna fucking remember it, and you're gonna fucking just bitch to everybody, and you're gonna write a shitty review about it, and you're gonna, like, fucking trash that restaurant. You have a great time at a restaurant, you might remember it. Might. But that's just how we are. Like, we latch on to the negative shit, and that's why you see so many fucking negative reviews. Like, it's just what happens. What do you do to get out of an emotional roller coaster? Man, there is jack shit I can do to get out of an emotional roller coaster. Like, when I'm, like, being, like, really bipolar and just completely falling apart, yeah, no, there is jack shit. I just have to ride it out until it stops. So, yeah, like, everyone's like, go to bed, Zeon. I'm like, bitch, it's like 12:30 here. I don't go to bed till, like, 4 in the morning. Let's see. Thanks, Zeon. I was asking because you mentioned on Twitter how you want to do positive videos, but got most of your popular publicity from shitting on Super. Yeah, no, that is a problem. Because, like, especially if you want to talk about, like, how I feel about my art, like, I really want to, like, my goal is, because the next video that I'm doing after I get this fucking Battle of Gods bullshit fucking out and I don't have to ever think about it again, is I want to talk about The Legend of Korra. Because The Legend of Korra is an anime, not an anime, fuck, it is a series that really hits a very strong, like, emotional thing for me. And a lot of people don't like The Legend of Korra. Fair enough. I think they kind of hate it for, like, weird nitpicky reasons and kind of superficial reasons. But they don't get the same thing out of it that I do. But what I really want from that video is, the thing I really want to do with that video is to explain my feelings on Legend of Korra so thoroughly that, like, people will feel what I'm feeling. It is literally a video where I want to convey my feelings to other people. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to. And Full Metal Alchemist is another one I really want to do that with. Where, like, you know, I want people to get, like, what I get out of 03 more than I get out of, so I can get, you know, more out of, like, why I get more out of 03 than I do out of Brotherhood. And so, yeah, like, I want to make more personal videos about the things that I care about. I kind of want to also do an Evangelion video. I feel like Eva has been so thoroughly talked about, but I kind of want to talk about Eva in the context of my own depression and kind of take people on that emotional journey. Literally, at this point, I want to create art that takes people into my world, that gives them context for me, what I value, and to get them to experience what I experience, hopefully. That is what I want from my art. That is what I want from my videos. Unfortunately, I'm stuck doing these fucking Dragon Ball videos where I have to bitch about things, and yeah, they're my honest opinions, but fuck! Man, I'm fucking exhausted about talking about Dragon Ball. Like, these people who just still are harping on The Last Jedi, how do you do it? It was one movie that happened, like, 7 months ago. Like, Dragon Ball Super ended like 3 months ago and I don't even want to fucking talk about it anymore. I don't know how the hell people stay angry at a piece of fucking fiction for like over a year. God. Zeon, you should review this the Super dub. Yeah, I also just, you know, put my fucking dick to a belt sander while we're just tossing out great ideas. But yeah. I still think people would watch it if you talked about other stuff. I'm sure they would. The thing is, though, like, I have pretty much killed my channel. I have done everything possible to have an unsuccessful YouTube channel. Like, my channel being as successful as it is a freak fucking coincidence. It never should have been. How this happened, I don't know. But, like, I become so, like, just disinterested in my own work that I begin hating it. And I hate that people like the things that I hate. So then I stop making the things that they like because I hate seeing it and hate making it. And then I intentionally just make things that people don't want to see. Like, I made a fucking wrestling vlog with Aggro. Like, 500 people are going to watch that, maybe. But, you know, but that's just, like, I am Social Blade. Your channel is not dying, so Social Blade shows it keeps growing. No, like, my channel is very stagnant. Like, when I hit 17K, I have just been fluctuating since then. I hit 17K 4 times. 4 times. Before it actually went up and stayed up. I have been sitting, like, I still have not been able to reach like 17,020 or 30, because I got up to like 17,029, and I've kind of been bouncing between that and like 17,000 like 20, yeah, like 25 or 24 or some shit. I've just kind of been bouncing between these numbers. Like, I'll gain a few subs, lose a few subs, gain a few subs, lose a few subs, gain a few subs, lose a few subs. So yeah. No, like my channel is fairly dead. But yeah, that's just whatever. I mean, I'm a terrible YouTuber. Like, people can like my videos. I am terrible at being a YouTuber. I don't give the people what they want. I have these ideas of fucking artistic integrity, you know. I still owe people a fucking gaming channel because I said I was gonna get a capture card and fucking make a gaming channel, but then I fell into a fucking pit of depression that I'm just now dragging myself out of. So yeah, like, there's just so much that I'm just doing wrong. And part of it, it's wrong because I do it out of spite. Because I just don't want to, because I just have to go against the grain. I can't just fucking just play the fucking, like the YouTube metagame disgusts me. You know, like the YouTube metagame of people like gaming the system and trying to figure out, like, you know, what's gonna be the thing that's gonna be the hot thing that people are gonna talk. Like, no, man, fuck that. It's like, you're a classic YouTuber, you make shit that you fancy just because you fancy it, not for the money. Well, yeah, that's true, but I mean, I'd also like money. Like, I mean, I do make money. On the high end, I make about 300. On the low end, I make about 100. You know, but, like, I mean, I would like to make money because, like I make just enough here on YouTube that I don't have to work full-time at my job. I can work, I can work, like, 32 hours at my job every week and get by with the extra I make from YouTube and be fine, you know. Let's see. Oh, you and Gigaboots can make a great gaming collab, though. I would probably never really collab with them like that. Like, that's the thing. Like they have their own thing and their whole fandom, and, like, it'd be a thing of, like, I mean, I've been on their videos, but then, like, if I wanted them to be in, like, one of my videos, I'd have to, like, do a whole bunch of bullshit to, like, you know, like, get it set up so we could all play in the same room. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I am horribly self-destructive, and that shows in my YouTube work. Like, honestly, I think, like, the best example of me being, like manic and depressed and, just a clusterfuck of a human being is my YouTube channel, because I just do everything to destroy, because I am self-destructive, and that is what I do. When I get too close to being happy, I will, either by coincidence or by accident, I will fuck it up, because that is what I do. I have the worst timing ever. Like I can never actually make myself happy, because I will, at some point in my life, just pull the carpet out from under myself to make my situation worse. Ugh. Are you going to do a video on E3 again? Just got a Switch and I kept your words about it in mind, and now the internal crisis about getting pregnant. Okay, I was gonna do an E3 video, but I was horribly depressed, so then I didn't, and, like, E3 was so long ago now, I just don't want to talk about E3 now. Like, E3 I thought kind of sucked this year. Like, I didn't give a shit about, like, I'm excited about all the things I think people would think I'm excited about. Like, Devil May Cry 5 looks fucking dope. Smash Brothers looks dope. I didn't really like the new Last of Us trailer. Whatever. Sony's conference was boring as shit, but like, they had good games to show off. I'm interested in Sekiro. I'm interested in Ghost of Tsushima. You know, like, but, like, for the most part, like, I couldn't give a fuck about Gears. I couldn't give a fuck about Halo. I couldn't give a fuck about Assassin's Creed. I couldn't give a fuck about, like, any fucking war games or first-person shooters. So, yeah. I think that's it. I think, like, you know, closing this thing on the whole, maybe, oh, let's see. This sounds like it might be worth reading. Maybe make a video on all the anime you love and make it a series with in-depth reviews with good editing like Super Eye Patch Wolf. That might give you new views and subscribers. Okay, see, that's the thing. I have a second channel for that. I have Hail Zeon. That's why this channel has been, like, this is why this channel is Zeon's Shitty Vlog channel. Because, you know, this is where I kind of dump my vlogs, and I have Hail Zeon, which is where I put my videos I genuinely care about. The thing is, though, with, you know, just with the scripted videos, like, I just need to get past some of these fucking Dragon Ball videos so I can actually work on the fucking videos I really want to work on. Ugh. God. It's just... Ugh. Sekiro looks like another Souls game in disguise. That looks nothing like a Souls game. Sekiro looks more like fucking Tenchu, where it's like ninja stealth fucking awesome. Like I'm just like that looks nothing like a Souls game to me. Like I said, it looks way more like a Tenchu game than it does a Souls game. Anyhow, like I said though, I think talking about the horribly self-destructive nature of my own YouTube channel is a good way to end this on. Thank you everyone for showing up. I am so tired of talking. Oh my god, my throat hurts a lot. Maybe I'll do another one of these at some point. Like, I feel like I only want to do a stream when I have something to say. And I feel like I don't really have enough to say very often is the problem. Like, the first two streams I did were kind of just talking to fans, like Hail Zeon, like kind of celebration streams, I think is what they were. And then I had like the Q&A stream, and then there was this one where I'm like, you know, I've been horribly fucking depressed lately, and you know, there's so much fucking misconceptions about me, and so many people want to fucking talk their shit about me without knowing me personally and make all these fucking assertions about me. You know, let me just go ahead and set some records straight. And so I did that, and yeah, that was the stream. So yeah, like, I don't know when I'm gonna do another stream. Maybe I'll bring some friends on. Maybe you guys are like, yeah, like, you know, you brought some friends on, so maybe next time I'll get Danny in here and we'll shoot the shit about, like, oh man, maybe when Danny and I do the next finally do that second part of the Star Wars thing, I'll do that with him in a live stream. That might be pretty dope. So yeah. Wait, someone's setting the record straight for me that I'm bi? I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people learned some fun shit about me. You know, you got to hear some embarrassing stories, got to hear about my crippling depression and anxiety. You got to hear about all kinds of dumb shit about me. So yeah. Till next time, guys, Zeon out.